people's property. Don't know who doing it, so don't round me out. Don't send no police round me and tell me shush my mouth. Where's our conviction? But where's our pride? We selling everything, selling our backside. Just go online, it'll make you sick. You can buy any island, just point and click. See, they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our hey, hey. Ride him. My mother always said when you find a donkey, ride it. But, come on. We got a whole nation in 73. Now we getting back the whole country. What kind of fools we must be, selling out for a bag of rice and a cup of tea. You know what just bugged me? Help me understand. I can't find piece of property for under 80 grand, but I can fix this. I know what to do. I can squat just like them other people try make me do. See, they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our I get everybody sell some every day. They're selling one island, give away one key. What can be left for you and me? Is this the example? What's our kids to do? You want them have a sense of pride, or go selling too? Cause they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling our whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country, yes man. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country, yes, yes. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling
Whoa, girls, we out doing
My fellow Bahamians, good night. This is Paul John G. Thompson, Esquire from ACL Network, a crocodile man. Let me warn y'all dogs in the PLP. If y'all think y'all gonna use Couture Ferguson, the high school name after her daddy, her mother them contributed to this country. Her brother just helped me do the 50th anniversary, Fred Ferguson. If y'all think y'all gonna use us as a scapegoat, I dare y'all big head don't grow shits to try it in the morning. Huh? The PLB will be finished by Friday. Touch her. And every graveyard in Crocodile will come looking for y'all. Touch her. She is not to be used as a sacrificial. Look here. Brave Davis, I am telling you straight to your face, touch her. You touch her. Put the blame where it belongs. You're a bunch of crooks. Touch that crocodile woman, and every graveyard in Macaulay will wake up. You all be running for your life. Spread it, you know.
Zak Pase! Zak Pase! Let me just say that I have always been a part of this community. And there's no accident I know how to do all the dancing. Because I always be and share with you. Because you are me and I am you.
Yes, sir.
And I'll be here with you always. And those who knew me from the past and know me now, they always knew that I was there and always been there. I don't call y'all, no, y'all are not Haitians, Bahamians. You are Bahamian,
Yes.
and your origin is Haitian. Mine too, and many of us. We have to stay apart for now so we can be together later. You know, Zak Pase! Zak Pase! Let me just say that I have always been a part of this community. And there's no accident I know how to do all the dancing. Because I always be and share with you. Because you are me and I am you.
Yes, sir.
And I'll be here with you always. And those who knew me from the past and know me now, they always knew that I was there and always been there for you. I don't call y'all, no, y'all are not Haitians, Bahamians. You are Bahamian,
Yes.
and your origin is Haitian. Mine too, and many of us. We have to stay apart for now so we can be together later. You know now. Zak Pase! Zak Pase! Hotel BLB!
Are you all ready and willing to go?
Est-ce que nous tous, est-ce que nous tous faisons pour rester le bac à Haïti? Non. Pays à bac à le problème pays, mettez-nous dehors. Pas de travail, pas de rien. Pas de manger, pas de vrai.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in. It is always a wonderful pleasure to have you join us. It is Sunday, the 10th of the 10th of September, 2023. Tomorrow is September 11th, and of course, that was the day that will live in infamy. But of course, we have another day that will live in infamy, and it is the day that our government decided to strike at our civil servants for standing up against their corruption and wickedness. Uh, uh, I want to first congratulate all of those civil servants who decided to stand up. We're going to show you what the law is. We're going to show you what your rights is, and we're actually going to dig up some classified documents to show you exactly who they are going to be replaced with and why. It's time to go back in time, and it's time for a good old bedtime story. We're going to be reading from some documents today that show you the corruption of the administration and why they're doing what they're doing, and just how history constantly repeats itself. But when it repeats itself, it gets worse and worse. When evil repeats itself, it gets bigger and badder. And that is what the PLP is doing. So thank all of you for joining us. You know what to do when you get here. Tag your friends. You know the media doesn't want people to see this. We got about 1,349 persons across all of our platforms right now watching this on our 3 Facebook platforms, our 3 YouTube platforms, on LinkedIn, on and all the other platforms. I don't even remember what all of them are now. We're broadcasting on so much platforms right now, Twitter and others. So make sure you take the time. So if you have friends who don't have Facebook, they're not on Facebook, you can always send them the YouTube link, and they can also watch this on YouTube. Many people watch it, as you're seeing in the back of my screen. This is the YouTube link, and some people watch it on TV, where they feel that they get a clearer view and they can see all the comments. And the comments that you're seeing there is from all of the platforms together. So you can see if someone comments on YouTube, as you can see, there's a Facebook comment and a Facebook, then there's a YouTube comment, that one right there, and then another Facebook. And so that's where you can see what's going on. All right. And so make sure you share this so we know what's going on. Our country is in peril, ladies and gentlemen. We are in a serious state of affairs. It has never been this bad, ever. And we have to fix this. All right. So make sure you take the time to share this in your WhatsApp groups and with Facebook or however you do your sharing. All right. And so, before we get started, I want to say a special happy birthday to one of our strong supporters. He is 3 years old on Thursday, and that is Mr. Liliano Russell Jr. Mr. Liliano Russell Jr. And they affectionately call him Junior. All right, we're going to say a special happy birthday to you and to all of your family. He is a strong COI supporter, a very strong. He knows how to put up that fist already. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank all of you for everyone who celebrated a birthday this week. Blessings to all of you. I got one of my brothers celebrating his birthday in a couple of days. I'll mention that on Sunday. All right. But thank you to all of you who have been supporting us and continue to support us. We got a serious one today, so make sure you share this with your family and friends. Everyone isn't getting notifications. I have about 35,000 people following me and Facebook friends on Facebook alone, and probably only just over 100 persons will get the notification when I go live. Of course, you know that is intentional, but don't worry. We're going to share this into oblivion to make sure all the Bahamian people know exactly what's going on. All right. So here we go. This one is going to be serious, y'all. Y'all probably haven't seen anything like this. I don't even know where to start with this, but I'm just going to have to start. Before I get started with the information about this man that they're bringing back to serve in this ministry, they've recently had meetings in the Progressive Liberal Party. They've been having meetings for a very long time on what to do with this threat that they call Lincoln Bain and the COI. You know, they've tried everything in the book. They've thrown everything at us. They've tried to slander us, to lie on us, to put out false stories, to get the media to cooperate with them with fake stories. And you're going to see where the U.S. government has mentioned our media and their twisted stories when we get into this. But and that's in secret cables. But anyway, they've tried everything in the book and nothing seems to work. It's like the old weapons aren't working anymore. And so they've gotten desperate. So they are with this cabinet shuffle, they have taken on the services of a very senior uh, media professional. And so with his cabinet shuffle, in order to deal with the threat of Lincoln Bain and the COI, they put information in the hands of Mr. Obi Wilscombe. All right, they put Obi Wilscombe to deal with the threat of Lincoln Bain and the COI. He's now in charge of all of this stuff to deal with information, bombs information. They've moved it from LaRoda and they put him there. In fact, what Brave Davis has done is he's taken two of the areas that seems to be affected by Lincoln Bain and put two of his internal political enemies to deal with that. So in other words, he is sending two of his challengers or enemies to deal with the threat, the major threat that they call Lincoln Bain and the COI. They've sent Alfred Sayers to deal with immigration. Alfred Sayers, of course, wanted to be leader of the party and wanted to challenge for leadership. And of course, Obi Wilscombe also wanted to do the same thing, and they've sent him to deal with broadcasting information, etc. All right. And so he sent the two of them to go get beat up. All right. But I just want to tell those two men, be wise, be smart. That's it. Because we are not going to relent. We are not going to stand down. We are going to do whatever it takes for the new Bahamas to become a reality. We are not going to stand down. Your tricks are not going to work on this run. And so Obi Wilscombe, and they're going to wonder how I know about this. Obi Wilscombe and Piceville Forbes and Clint Watson, it has a responsibility for dealing with addressing me. And so what Obi Wilscombe's strategy is, again, I'm in all the meetings. What Obi Wilscombe's strategy is a part of what I said to you previously that they was planning to do. But his strategy is that they've tried everything to come at me, but it's not going to work. So instead of attacking the messenger and going after me, they said that they can't defeat me in that way. But what they're going to do is they're going to try to replace the messenger. They're going to try to steal the message and replace the messenger. I don't think the word steal the message is the right thing to call it, because the message doesn't belong to anyone. And so what they're going to do is they're going to try to find someone to endear to the public to talk about the natural resources and these kinds of things in order to give them credibility. They're going to try to paint myself, Maria Daxon, etc., the COI, as rebel rousers, as rowdy, and that you shouldn't follow us because we're like Pinlin was when he started out. We're like Milo Butler was, and we're like Randall Fox was. That we're too rough. We're too rowdy. We're too rebellious, and so they're going to paint us as too rebellious to represent the country, and that they're going to present someone else. They're trying to find that person right now. They had a scandalized person who's who used to do Facebook Lives, who was scandalized with pictures that went out there, who was trying to get them to use him as that person. Recently, he was making the claim that we came out of his organization, which is a bold-faced lie, and didn't come out of any organization. And so that's their entire strategy, to find someone to be the COI. And that's their whole entire strategy. But I want to say to Obi Wilscombe and to the PLP, Brave Davis, and everyone else, this strategy is not going to work. So Brave Davis sent you and Alfred Sayers to come after me to get obliterated because they want to take the attention off of Philip Brave Davis and Chester Cooper. All right? But we're not fooled by these simple strategies. We're going to continue to speak the truth and let the truth cover for itself. And so moving forward, you're going to see them start to promote other persons. They're going to give them media attention. They're going to cut the media attention off from us. And whenever they speak, they're going to give the attention so that the general public sees them, and they're going to try to endear them. And this is not a PLP. This is going to be someone else, some third person, someone from on the outside that they're going to try to present to you as a better option. Whoever you see the media is the media darling and the media covering, that's who is a puppet for the people who want to keep you enslaved and in slavery. Remember, everything I say to you always comes to pass. There's never been a thing that I've said that has not come to pass. And so this is what their plan is. Maybe that I've revealed, they may have to alter some of their plan, but I just want them to know that we're in your meetings. All right, Obi, we're in your meetings. All right. And so it is what it is. And and so with that, I want to add that there was a message that went around recently that people are confusing as a message from the COI, and people are repeating that as if it came from the COI, and it was a clarion call that was going out. It was a post from, what do you call that thing? Bahamas Punch, and person started sharing it. And they did a clarion call for person to come out on October 4th in order to protest what the government is doing. And they said some things like you need to block out the roads and all the truck drivers come. And I don't even remember everything they said. And they were saying these kind of violent things that we need to block up the roads and show the PLP government once and for all who's in charge, I guess. And so I also did a clarion call on behalf of the COI. And so people were confusing both of them as if that one that was calling for the roads to be blocked up, etc., that they're confusing as if that came from us. I just want to categorically make it clear that other text message that came out from Bahamas Punch, whatever that is, it did not come from us. It came from the Progressive Liberal Party. Now, the Bahamas Punch is normally a WhatsApp post that comes from the FNM. But the PLP used that. They kind of preempted that the COI would do, or maybe would want to do, a protest after they made these immigration changes. So they preempted it by calling for a protest and then putting this violent stuff with it, because they knew that we would call a protest. And then what they started to do was they started to try to confuse as if we were the ones calling for blocking the roads and the big trucks and all that kind of stuff. They even had their Facebook lawyer, or not Facebook, WhatsApp lawyer, is a political troll. His name is Ben McKinney, respond to it as if we were the ones putting that out there to confuse persons. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of tricks that's going to be put out there. We need you to be sophisticated in this last hour of the PLP and FNM administrations. They're going to try everything to hold on to their gravy train and to keep those billions of dollars to themselves. Don't fall for their tricks. All right. And so they're trying to make it sound like that's us, because they want people to say, oh, that's violence. There's a way to do things, and there's violence. And we, you can't go. They're talking about the roads, and that's not us. All right. We are going out on the 4th for a peaceful protest. We're going out for a peaceful protest at the House of Assembly, as we always do. And we will let this government know that we cannot accept our civil servants who stood up for us being fired. We're going to get into all of that in a minute. We cannot accept that. And I'm calling on every Bahamian, whether you are PLP, FNM, or whatever you call yourself, black, white, Chinese, whatever you are, to stand with us. Because today it's them, tomorrow it's you. This has been going on for too long, and we need change. And we only get change if we stand up. We cannot sit and tolerate this happening. Keturah Ferguson did nothing wrong. Faustine Major Smith did nothing wrong. Keturah Ferguson, that Crooked Island Ferguson, which I am also a Crooked Island Ferguson, that Pinewood woman in Pinewood for many years, probably almost 40 years now, like myself, has done nothing wrong. Nothing. She sent a letter to the permanent secretary, who's responsible, not to the public, to the permanent secretary, to speak out against the wrongdoings of the minister, because he was doing wrong. That's all she did. The deputy director, Faustine Major Smith, did the same thing. She only spoke out against the wrong. The Chinese were being released. She spoke out against it. Documents were being approved without any cabinet approval, cabinet conclusion, they call it. And she spoke out against it. And she is now on administrative leave indefinitely. They are trying to make her accept an offer to be removed to another ministry, while they put the other deputy director, Mr. Benaby, and the director on vacation leave to be removed and replaced with someone who we are about to introduce you to. Make sure you are sitting down for what we're about to show you about what is about to happen in immigration. If you have just eaten and you may regurgitate, do not watch this video. If you have nightmares, if you cannot take shock, if you have heart problems, seizures, etc., do not watch what we're about to show you that is going to happen to our immigration ministry. If you have a weak heart, you may need to change the channel. How do we know the future? Because the future repeats the past. Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to see some demonic stuff. Now, before we get started with that, and so before I go on, that stuff that is going around, that the PLP is twisted, it's us about blocking the roads and the trucks in the roads and that kind of stuff, that message did not come from the COI. I told you, take your messages from Lincoln Payne, from me. All right? That message did not come from us. And we are going out there for a peaceful protest. We're going to apply to the cabinet for permission to use the square. And we're going to do it the way it's supposed to be done, as we always do. All right? And so that's what's going to happen. And we expect Bahamians to come out there and stand up with us because we're losing our country. For immigration situation, a BC situation, you all want to keep paying these highlight bills? We need to stand up. But we got to stand with those deputy directors and director of immigration, or your country is going to be lost. This is what they feel. So I just want to say to all civil servants in the country, this is important before I get started. The Prime Minister went in the news and he inferred, or he said that if you release information, private information, that you could be breaking the law. All right? That it could not be further from the truth. It is a lie from the pits of hell. That was the Prime Minister going against international standards and international treaties by intimidating the civil servants. We are going into an authoritarian dictatorship. The media has been bought out. They're trying every way to silence all those around you by firings and all this kind of stuff. We are going into dictatorship. Open your eyes. Don't mind the man being quiet and pretending to be nice. He is a dictator, a Papa Doc type dictator. Papa Doc didn't say much either, you know. But it was his actions. And the actions of firing good, decent, honest Christian women, PLPs at that, but we'll get to that, and replacing them with this man who you're about to see. These are actions of a dictator. Wake up, Bahamas. Now, all of you have not just a right, but a duty. When you see corruption happening by your members of parliament or by your ministers, you have a duty to make it public. You can give that information to the media, to other political parties, or to anyone, or you can put it on your own Facebook page. Expose them. The law protects you in doing so. Let me repeat that. The law protects you in doing so. It's the law. And so don't let anyone cause you to be afraid to do what you're supposed to do in the law. Now, what is Lincoln talking about? Because I don't talk without showing the facts. The prime minister said one thing, but he didn't read the law when he did so. I am giving you exactly what the law says. Okay? So our entire system is frozen up. So sorry about that. I don't know if it's frozen up for you, but my entire system is in a freeze. So I don't know if it's still okay for you. Okay, we're seeing to be having some technical issues. Okay, look like we're back up. So we're getting attacked, and you know, anytime we have these serious lives where we are exposed, we have attacks. Our Facebook, especially, is attacked, and so we want you to just stay with us. Okay, just stay with us. We're going to continue to be attacked as we do this broadcast. It's the norm. So don't be distracted by it freezing or dropping. If it drops, we'll bring it right back on. All right. So just tune back in. All right. So you may have to, if it drops, you'll have to refresh. Keep refreshing because it won't just pop back up. You'll have to refresh to make sure it's back up. All right. So we're getting attacked by government forces right now. We already have a whistleblowers provision in our law. It's in the Freedom of Information Act that has already been enacted. All right. And so what you're looking at right now on your screen, again, is the Freedom of Information Act. All right. Freedom of Information Act 2017. All right. And most of these sections of it have been enacted. But one of them that has been enacted is Section 47. Let me make sure I show that to you. Here is the document that enacts it. All right, this is Official Gazette, the Bahamas. It was gazetted on the 2nd of March, 2018. And it says, Office of the Prime Minister, here's the number, Freedom of Information Act, 2017, Freedom of Information Act, 2011, appointed day, notice, 2018. It says, in exercise of the powers conferred by Section 1 and 2 of the Freedom of Information Act, 2017, the first day of March, 2018 is appointed the day on which Section 7 of the Freedom of Information Act 2017 shall come into operation. Dated this day, and it was signed in 2017 by Prime Minister Ingram. All right, but he set it up to come after election, just so you couldn't get nothing, you couldn't do nothing against him. He made it to come after election. All right, and so that was his plot. And if you go back to the actual act, here we go. The actual act, I'm going to go to page 27 of this act, and section 47. Okay, we went too far. Okay, let's go back to page 27. I want you to read section 47. All right, this is for all civil servants who are afraid that if they reveal information, they could be, if you reveal information and the government does anything to you, transfer you, does any kind of action, takes any kind of action towards you, you are rich. All right? You can sue them and be handsomely compensated. But they didn't tell you this because they don't want you to know this. But here's the law, whistleblower, this section 47. No person may be subject to any legal, administrative, that means transfer, punish, written up, anything, or employment-related sanction, regardless, so that's legal. That means they can't lock you up. They can't do nothing to you. They can't sue you. They can't arrest you. They can't do nothing to you. Administrative, that's talking about on the job, all right, or employment-related, in terms of employment-related sanction, like being suspended or anything happening to you, written up, etc. It says, regardless of any breach of a legal or employment-related obligation. So read that again. Because of a legal, so that means even if there's a law that says you should not reveal this information, you could ignore that law. All right? No law can tell you you cannot be a whistleblower and give information. Read that again. No person may be subject to any legal, administrative, or employment-related sanction, regardless of any breach of a legal or employment-related obligation. And it says no person. It just doesn't just say civil servant. Nobody. All right. So that's a civil servant, a director, an officer, a police officer, anybody. Lincoln being a member of the media, they can't touch nobody. All right. Just wanted to get that straight. For releasing information on wrongdoing or that which would disclose a serious threat to health, safety, or the environment, as long as he acted in good faith and in the reasonable belief that the information was substantially true and disclosed evidence of wrongdoing or a serious threat to health, safety, or environment. So if you are disclosing wrongdoing by the member of parliament, by the cabinet minister, or anyone, they can't touch you according to law. All right? They can't do anything with you. If they cut their eye at you, they're in problems. Okay? It says if you release information, this didn't say if you give information to authorities. No, if you just release it, put it on Facebook, put it on Twitter. If you just release information, give it to the media, give it to Lincoln Bean, give it to whoever you want to give it to, they can't touch you. That's the law. Subsection 2. For the purpose of subsection 1, wrongdoing includes but is not limited to the commission of a criminal offense, failure to A, commission of a criminal offense, B, failure to comply with the legal obligation, C, miscarriage of justice, or C, corruption, dishonesty, or serious maladministration. So if you expose these things, they can't do nothing with you. And if they touch you, they are breaking the law. And if they break the law, not only do they have to deal with the penal situations in this law, but they have to deal with you. You can sue them. The courts will make them pay you handsomely. Okay? So do not fear these evil doers. Do not fear Keith Bell. To Miss Keturah Ferguson. Now I know what they actually did was make you agree to a package, to pressure you to agree to that package, and so that's what you actually did. And afterwards you go into your retirement instead of fighting them. But I just want you to know that they force you to do that. That's administrative. If they press you to do that, take it. That's yours. And then sue them. Sue them. Because they force you out. All right? And I'll get to that in a minute. To the other directors, they feel that you were given information and that's why they pressured you or put you on administrative leave, etc. Especially to you, Ms. Faustine, Major Smith. You especially, they put you on administrative leave illegally. The minister has no right to do anything with you. He has no power to tell you that you're on leave. Ms. Faustine, Major Smith, you're rich. This is not the first time something like this has happened. This has also happened when Elizabeth Thompson was the Registrar General, and Alison Maynard had asked her to remove some files. All right, Alison Maynard was the AG at the time. Remove some files. All right, and put it in her office. That means hide the files, because if they're looking for the files, they won't find it if it's in the registrar's office. Now, it's not missing. They didn't put it nowhere. If it's still in the office, they can say, oh, well, it was just in the office. We didn't really remove it. So that keeps them from being locked up for doing something fraudulent, but it's in the office. All right. So she wanted them to put it in her office because she couldn't put it it couldn't be put in Allison's office because that was allegedly one of Allison's clients. Right. And so Elizabeth Thompson, a very strict woman, like most of our civil servants, We blame a lot of our senior government civil servants, but I want you to know that these people want to do what's right. Some people say, how are you going to get rid of corruption when it's endemic? I can tell you that the majority of our civil servants at the top are actually not corrupt. It is the politicians who corrupt them, and you're going to see that when I start unfolding these documents, when I crack the seal and reveal. A lot of them want to do what's right, and some of them have stood up. But the media doesn't cover what happens properly because the media is under control. And so Elizabeth Thompson refused, and she was relieved of her duties. She sued, and she got a settlement of $500,000. Big money in the Bahamas. And so she got a big settlement, and she was able to walk plus and was able to walk away. All right? Because no one, not even the Attorney General and the crooked PLP, is above the law. And so, Faustine, you're rich. Miss Ferguson, Katura, you're rich. Mr. Benamy, you're rich. Just have the courage to do what's right. Don't let them tell you, oh, we give you the packet, man, just leave it alone. Don't say nothing. Get what's yours, all right? It's yours. We can pay for it. And then we can deal with those politicians. All right? So here we go. So I'm going to get to the meat of it now. These people were removed, the directors I told you about, and they were replaced by Mr. William Pratt. Mr. William Pratt. Mr. William Pratt. Everyone remember that name. It's a name that will live in infamy in the Bahamas. Because whereas before he was doing what he was doing allegedly, and he was under the radar because the public just couldn't fathom that this stuff could be happening in our country. But Mr. William Pratt has come back with a vengeance on behalf of the Progressive Liberal Party to run rumshot at the Immigration Ministry. Mr. William Pratt, this is him here. All right, this was a Eyewitness News headline, and he was denying corruption, even though behind him you can see a statement, right? And you could hear him, he was trying to deny the claims of corruption. But let's get to it. Mr. William Pratt, one, in December will be 67 years old. The mandatory, by law, the mandatory age of retirement is 65. It is unlawful for him to be hired back into the system as Director of Immigration at the age of 66 or 67, which he will be in December. It is unlawful. So one, we are starting off on the wrong foot by breaking the law. But of course, that is what the PLP does. They don't care about the law. They just do what they want to do, and they'll admit, yeah, we break the law. What y'all gonna do? Be here for five years, and we're gonna do what we want to do, and there's nothing y'all could do because this is the stance.
We're in government. We are the government of the day, and we will lead as we see fit. It is what it is.
And so that's the stance of the PLP. That's Chester Cooper. So imagine what he's going to do when he gets his turn, which he will never get. But ladies and gentlemen, they've decided to do what they want to do. And so they've put this man there at the age of 67. Now, let me put this in perspective for you, because some people, they were to spin and make it seem like Katura and these others were at that age also. All right. Let me make this clear for you. William Pratt is 67 in December. All right. past the mandatory retirement age. Mrs. Katsura Ferguson is 62. She still has years to go before she reaches retirement age. She has 3 years to go, all right, before she reaches that retirement age. Now, she has done more than 40 years because she started in this young, but she has not reached the mandatory retirement age. And she still has much to offer. Mr. Benaby is 63, all right? And he still has 2 years to go, so he is still under the age. Miss Faustine is 62. Miss Faustine still has some years to go before reaching that retirement age. To track back, Mr. Pratt is 67 and over in December and over the age of retirement. He should not be allowed back into the system. That's first and foremost. So why would the PLP break the law again, as they always do? Why would they break the law to bring this man back? Who is this man and why do they want him here? This man has been removed from immigration several times under a cloud of allegations. Several times. But this goes back even further. Let me take you back in time to 1984. Now, I want to see how many of you are paying attention, if you're watching, if you're paying good attention. What significant happened in the Bahamas in 1984? Come on. So let's see how many of you are paying attention. What of significance took place in 1984? I'll drink some water because I know there's a delay and wait for you to start answering your text. What happened in 1984 in the Bahamas? Coming since the drug days, since I was still in school. Bang! Catherine Ferguson, Linda Ramming. Oh, we got some smart babies. Y'all are paying attention. The Commission of Inquiry. The Commission of... Oh, Marvin Starr also said it. There you go. Oh, we got all kinds of smart behaviors. It's coming through now. All right, someone just give us a hint. Too late. Commission of Inquiry. All right. The Commission of Inquiry happened in 1984. And so there were many people who are exposed as corrupt. And there were international calls for the PLP government to step down, Pinlin, etc., to step down. It was disgraceful. Do you know who was named in the Commission of Inquiry? William Pratt. William Pratt was named in the Commission of Inquiry and had to testify before the Commission of Inquiry. Yes, the man who now in 2023, they are bringing back. So this goes beyond the last few years of scandalous accusations whenever the PLP is in power. He was named in the 1984 Commission of Inquiry. It appears that this same William Pratt was working on one of the keys, a chop key or one of those keys, and it was alleged that Kojak gave him some funds. All right, that he had a briefcase full of money. All right, they said that he had. They alleged that he was found with a briefcase full of money. They brought him before the Commission of Inquiry. Do you know what his explanation was? This is the man they brought back, the PLP. You know what his explanation was? Let me see if some of you can guess. I want you to participate in this. See if you can guess what he said about the briefcase of money. Give me a good guess. Let me see who is smart. Let me see what he said about the briefcase of money from Kojak. Let's see if you can. I know it's a delay. Let's see if you can say what he said. Someone says he didn't know. I didn't recall. So he found it. What else did he say? He found it. He can't recall. He can't recall. He didn't know what was in the briefcase. Oh, these are some good answers. That's Davis' line. He didn't know. Someone says he found it. It wasn't his. Investment. All right, smart person. It was a gift, someone says. But let me help you out. He says he don't know how the money got in that briefcase. That's what they said. Mr. Pratt said he don't know how the money got in that briefcase. You don't know how the money get in the briefcase? Well, what? How did that get in there? And of course, under the protection of the PLP, he continued as a civil servant because the commissions of inquiry have no teeth. All right. Many persons were recommended to be prosecuted during the 1984 commission of inquiry, but no one was. But in any event, he was named and testified in that commission of inquiry. I see some people calling already, but I don't want to stop from what I'm doing. So just wait. I'm going to open the lines and put the phone number up when I get to that point. All right. We're almost there. All right. So just listen carefully because this is very important. This is of national importance. Someone says it's a miracle. Yeah. And so that was his explanation. So that's William Pratt. So this started a long time ago. This didn't just start with accusations against William Pratt. And of course, can't prove nothing, just a briefcase full of money for a civil servant. All right. But in 2008, when William Pratt was assistant director at this time, Hubert Ingram came back and he said, this man has to go. And he removed him and others, but he removed this man. All right. He removed him and said, this man has to go. And he also moved the director and replaced them with what's his name? Replaced them with Russell. Replaced them with Russell, who was Clarence Russell. Sorry, no, that was 2017. But anyway, he removed him, sent him somewhere else. I think he sent him to Soldier Service or something like that. But he removed him and a couple other persons. All right. So I'm going to switch over to 2012. The PLP government came back and they put him back. All right. When they put him back, he became director. He was director. And in 2016, the U.S. government opened up an investigation because they were seeing some strange things going on. So in 2016, they opened up the U.S. government. So this was the FBI and you name it, were all over this. The U.S. government got involved and they opened an investigation. And they actually had some arrests. And with these arrests, persons were able to catch persons. They were able to see text messages back and forth between these persons, and they had recorded evidence for persons. All right. Around this time, Fred Mitchell was also accused of skullduggery. A lot of you don't remember that. Fred Mitchell himself was accused by senior officials at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of selling visas. Okay? Now, they couldn't prove or say that they saw him take money, but they were able to give testimony to U.S. officials. I'm going to read this to you. To say that Fred Mitchell was doing skullduggery. All right? Fred Mitchell also defended the same William Pratt to say that, oh, well, they're not providing any proof in this and that. But of course, in 2017, Pratt was removed. Hubert Minnis brought him in, removed him, transferred him, and he was replaced with Clarence Russell, a police officer. All right? This is serious. Immigration officials told me that in the 2 days that he had before he packed up and moved his stuff, in those 2 days, they said he signed and approved so many documents, it was mind-blowing. They said there were, because everything was paper back then, it wasn't digital. There were so many documents. There were so many documents that they found later that it blew their minds. They said he did so many approvals. There was so many files, stacks and stacks of files that this man did in 2 days. He just was approving. And they found out after he left. And they said that the ones that were already paid for, they couldn't do nothing because the director did it. And so they had to let, for the ones that were work permits, they had to let them keep their work permit for 1 year. And then after that year was up, then they canceled them. And the other ones that weren't paid for yet, they canceled some of those. All right. But they said that it was a disaster. And this is what they said is why they have a fair that Monday morning, tomorrow, when this man gets there, all hell is going to break loose. That you think they've been selling work permits before on the Keith Bell. That it is, they feel that all hell is going to break loose. This man is going to be pushing out work permits and everything else like there's no tomorrow. You see, what happened was we agitated and got them to move Keith Bell. Now, Keith Bell was doing what the minister wasn't allowed to do. And so what he was doing was trying to force persons to do his dirty work. And when I start reading this document, you're going to see where it's the same thing that Fred Mitchell apparently was doing. Forcing people to do the dirty work. And there's a reason they force you to do it. And you're going to see in a minute when I show you the documents. And so the stuff he was doing, he wasn't authorized to do. And even though he had to start doing it himself in the end because he didn't trust anyone because they were giving us information, he didn't have the right to do it. But now the government will have someone back in the chair, the director, who actually is authorized to do this, who can give away whatever they want. Give away as many work permits or whatever it is that they do, and they can have an all-out fire sale on status in this country because they got the director now. So they moved the minister who wasn't empowered to do this stuff and replace him with a director who's a puppet who will just continue to do their bidding. It's going to be worse because this is the man who authorized to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, the leaders at immigration feel like we're in trouble more than you can even imagine. All right? And so when they found all these files and stuff, they said, oh, Clarence was started to say, oh, Pratt needs to go to jail. Pratt needs to go to jail. I guess that's his opinion. But they did nothing. All right? And there's no proof that what he did was illegal. He's a director. He was signing off on this stuff. But the stuff was done according to them improperly. And this is where the problem comes in. Just overlooking what needed to happen. All right? And so I want you to pay close attention to something. This woman that they're moving, Keturah Ferguson, the PLP appointed Keturah Ferguson as one of them. Yeah, they say her husband is a F&M, but Keturah is and her whole entire family is known to lean towards the Progressive Liberal Party, not the F&M. They're now trying to vilify her because she stood up against them. The same thing with others who were there. They're known to be part of the PLP. Miss Major Smith was a Valley girl, very close with Perry Christie. She calls him Uncle Perry. The PLP put these people in place. They also made Miss Faustine Major Smith the deputy director. This the PLP is doing. This their people who they put there, who couldn't stand. Remember, I've been telling you for a little while, these people couldn't stand the corruption that they were seeing in their own party. These their own PLPs, they now questioning and vilifying and sending WhatsApp notes out there accusing them. It's your people. But what they are Bahamians who decided to stand up. Put party aside for a minute. These bunch of foreigners, Haitians making a bunch of money, exploiting our immigration system, paying for people to get straight. No one is going to sit down and watch it because they're PLP. It's Bahamians. Our country is going to the dogs. And I salute you, Miss Keturah Ferguson. I salute you, Miss Faustine Major Smith. I salute you for standing up for the Bahamian people. And we're going to stand up for you. I'll be there if I have to be there by myself. But this is a time for all Bahamians to stand up because that man they just put back there, I'm about to show you the files. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all let them put this man there and don't say nothing, y'all in trouble. The United States government knows who he is. The Commission of Inquiry knows who he is. Ladies and gentlemen, we in trouble if we don't Wake up. All right. Now it's time to go to the documents. Time to go to the documents. All right. Um, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you are sitting down. I will not be held responsible for what you're about to see. All right. So, first of all, just showing you, and these are stuff that's out there. We have some other stuff, but we're going to wait to see what their response is before we drop some internal stuff on them. You know how we always do it. But here it is. He called them an unjust allegation. So this is him, right? This is the man that we know from 1984 and the Commission of Inquiry. This was in 2018. He was saying this. Former Immigration Director Pratt said yesterday he was seeking legal redress in response to loose, untested allegations in reference to him in an affidavit detailing the Federal Bureau of Investigation's probe of an alleged local U.S. visa scam. The affidavit, and so this international, all right? This ain't just Bahamian visa scam. U.S. visa scam, all right? The affidavit of Special Agent Kevin Canal details conversations. The scams alleged lead conspirator Edward Israel Santil had with undercover FBI informants. Santil allegedly boasted of having relationships with top immigration officials. He also alleged that immigration staff did not process work permits without being paid to do so. According to the FBI, Santil claimed he had a relationship with Mr. Pratt and Immigration Director Clarence Russell, the two of them. Another senior immigration official is referenced in the affidavit. The former director maintained his innocence and defended his tenure at the Department of Immigration in a press statement issued yesterday. I have never sold or received bribes or any permits or anything else in my 5 years as director, the statement read. I have never met Edward Israel Santil. I never knew what he looked like until a photo produced to me online purporting to be him shown to me. I stand by the, and so what they do in these kinds of things, they operate like media, like mafia, sorry. And so the politicians, you're never going to get to say you actually met or paid off the prime minister. He's not going to take that money from you. He's not going to have them conversation with you, but he will have someone who is known to be his close associate who you will deal with. And so if something goes wrong, that person will take the fall. He will be the fall guy, but you will not. He will be able to have what they call plausible deniability. The same thing happens with directors, etc., of ministries. I'm not saying that this would happen with him, but of course, he would be able to say that I ain't taking the money from you. And so that's how they operate. They will always have a smaller man in the mafia. They call it a stick man, whose job is to take the fall. So you'll deal with them, and then they'll pass that money upwards. We're going to show you some stuff. Stay tuned. All right. These applications are considered based on information that is received, which may justify request. Mr. Pratt's statement continued, I have never met him. I have never had any dealings with him or any other person in an illegal, unlawful conduct of any kind. The FBI undercover operation kicked off in 2016 after agents were tipped off to claims a Haitian national living in the Bahamas. See, this is how you all have these fellas. They're making money, this big money. Edna St. Fleur had obtained a U.S. visa fraudulently. All right? St. Fleur, along with two other Haitians and a Bahamian woman, were also indicted in a separate case for allegedly conspiring to commit visa fraud. Santil, a purported justice of the peace, who was said to hold both Bahamian and Haitian citizenship, is currently on bail in a high-intensity supervision program pending trial in Washington. These people are here in our country making big money, partnering with our officials. Santil pleaded not guilty to the charge of encouraging and inducing illegal entry into the U.S. Lady pled guilty. According to the affidavit, the scheme involved Bahamians being paid to write fraudulent letters for immigrants purporting to be employers that would be used as documentation for work permits. This is still going on to this day. Many making money by getting work permits for these illegal immigrants who are not working for them. Yesterday, I went to a site right behind the headquarters of Bacchus Road on Cowpen Road. I went to a site where they blocked off, they put up a gate blocking the Bahamians from being able to access their property. I'll show you the video another time. I don't think I have time today. I'm trying to talk fast to get through this. And everyone there had a work permit saying for someone different. We had a whole yard full of Asians. I have the video. And all of them had a work permit saying they were working for someone different. None of the persons were supposed to be working for the person they was working for. They was building, looked like a fourplex. Stone building now. A regular stone building. They were using a house that seemed to be an old house from way back in the day, and they were extending onto it. All right? And so we exposed that. So we'll get to that another time. I'm going to show you that. But that is the scam right now. So when they're arrested, the immigration uses excuse. See, they have work permits. When we get these people, they have work permits, so we have to release them. No. You are supposed to investigate to see if they are working for the person they say they're working for. You're supposed to be going on these job sites to check their work permits and see if they're working for who they say they're working for. It's a scam, all right? So I'll get to that afterwards. According to the affidavit, the scheme involved Bahamians who paid to write fraudulent letters for immigration, for employment, for them to get work permit. The affidavit alleged these work permits were not for actual employment in the Bahamas, but to facilitate the granting of U.S. visitor visas. You see, once they get work permit, they can get U.S. visitor visa, and guess what they can do? Jump on the plane and go to the U.S. All right? So this is a scam. And once they get in there, they came legally, and they can get in there, and then they can apply, and then do a I-485 form, which is adjustment of status to be able to go from having a visa to getting a work permit in the U.S. or permanent residency, marrying someone, whatever you need to do. All right, and that's what they've been doing. Mr. Pratt's last day at the Department of Immigration was December 3rd, 2017. He took a 3-month vacation before taking up his post as Senior Undersecretary in the Department of Labor on April 3rd. He said Mr. Gunard's affidavit was replete with hearsay, insisted it was unjust for such allegations against his character and integrity to be put in the public domain without giving him an opportunity to refute it. It was hearsay, he says. That's a witness statement. The damage has been done, but it's left for me to use my personal resources to seek redress by having to prove a negative, Mr. Pratt's statement read. I am appalled and denounce this and reject it. I will seek whatever legal means available to me to have this set aside. The Office of the Attorney General has not officially responded to news of the FBI probe. The Attorney Carl Bethel declined to comment yesterday. Meanwhile, Progressive Party Chairman and Opposition Senator Fred Mitchell, who was also accused, has called on the government to directly address the allegations, particularly the nature of the scandalous and defamatory claims against senior public servants. How can you, as a responsible politician, say that they're scandalous and defamatory? What you should say is that the investigation should happen, and as a result of the investigation, his name should be declared or he should be prosecuted. You can't come to a conclusion without there being an investigation. This shows that you know what's going on and you're lying, Fred, because you should let the investigation happen. If I work in an office, I'm the CEO, and someone makes an allegations against someone else, I'm not going to say, oh, that's defamation. I'm going to say, okay, we're going to investigate, see what happens. Let's check the cameras. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's get some witness testimony. I'm not going to just jump and do what Fred just did. That shows you that they were just covering up, as the PLP always does. All right. So Mr. Mitchell, who would have been Minister of Immigration when the FBI's probe began, suggested the claims may have negative consequences for named individuals at the local embassy or in the U.S., given the subject nature of American immigration law and noted officials had no legal redress. Mr. Mitchell advised the government not only asked the American government for an explanation, but also, I'm not making this up, it's his words. Not only ask American government an explanation, but also protest the matter. How can you ask them to protest? Shouldn't you say to investigate? What do you mean to protest it? What kind of nonsense is this? Shouldn't you say to investigate? What do you mean to protest? The question must be asked by our government. Mr. Mitchell said, how could, in the U.S. jurisdiction, a document be produced in court which clearly alleges malfeasance in office against named individuals be allowed to surface with untested hearsay evidence in it? Mr. Mitchell continued, in other words, the names of the persons are called, serious accusations are made against them purporting to be the truth of their contents. There is no evidence to support the allegations. I am advised that none of the persons whose names were called had an opportunity to defend themselves, yet their names are now scandalized and so you're admitting that Mr. Pratt's name is scandalized. Okay. At the very least, this must be protested by the government for the record and the names of his public servants defended. He added, the Tribune has reached out to both U.S. and Haitian embassies for comment on the developing stories. A U.S. embassy spokesman said they don't comment on these kinds of stuff, all right? And so here we are, all right? And you can see Fred defended because Fred was also accused. Now, it gets deeper. All right, it gets deeper. You see a story here. This is from The Guardian. Fred Mitchell accused of corruption. Wow. Look at this, Bahamas. This is from the Nassau Guardian. A senior Ministry of Foreign Affairs official accused former Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell of being complicit in a visa fraud and pressuring staff at ministry to issue visas to ineligible Chinese applicants during his term in office, according to a secret U.S. Embassy cable tabled in the Senate yesterday. Bahamian Consular Affairs Chief Dorothy LaFleur also told an embassy official that Mitchell was likely receiving financial kickbacks for the visas that were issued, though she said she had no hard proof of this, the cable said. The leader of government business in the Senate, the young folks, tabled the cable, which was written on April 24, 2007, and published on the internet by the whistleblower organization WikiLeaks. All right? So before Pratt was accused, while Pratt was here with these guys, with Fred Mitchell and working with them, Fred Mitchell was Foreign Affairs, and they were saying that Fred Mitchell was issuing visas. That's what he's been accused of by his own staff. All right? And then we had Pratt, and then you had Fred come to Pratt's aid. So it seems to be a whole ring of corruption. A whole ring of corruption. All right? And here's back to this other FBI sting. A 2-year, and then I'll get back to Fred. A 2-year FBI sting operation into visa fraud in the Bahamas has uncovered an alleged bribery ring between senior Bahamas immigration officials and a purported justice of the peace for fraudulent long-term work permits. The U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation paid 3 Haitian nationals just under $50,000 to participate in the undercover operation, which has led to the arrest and indictment of 4 Haitians living in the Bahamas and 1 Bahamian, along with the alleged lead conspirator, Edward Israel Santil, who holds both Bahamian and Haitian passports. Santil is accused of encouraging and inducing illegal entry into the U.S. and was arrested in late September after he traveled to the District of Columbia to reportedly collect $14,000 fee to smuggle a Haitian national into the country and arrange a marriage to a U.S. citizen. FBI investigation kicked off in October 2016, and the bribery claims are detailed in an affidavit sworn by U.S. Federal Agent Kevin Gennard, who previously served as the U.S. in the U.S. Coast Guard for 14 years. In recorded meetings, Santil boasted of close relationships with both current and former top immigration officials, saying he preferred one over the other because the official was more of a businessman, along with capacity to obtain fraudulent bank statements to support visa applications. Santil further claimed immigration officials did not process work permits unless they are paid to do so. Of course, I've read something else with a lot of this information in here, but this has some additional stuff in here. For adding that bribes to obtain fraudulent documents for Asian nationals were the cheapest. All right? So, wow. On January 10th, Santil met with lead informant at a restaurant in Nassau and brought two women along. The conversation was recorded. They discussed the price of bribe payments to immigration officials, with Santil saying the prices were inflexible due to competition from different nationalities also paying bribes. This was going on in your country. The big money was being made. And this is still going on today. And the PLP is in power and they are going crazy with this. This is a big money industry. I want the Bahamas to know this. This is why this is going on. Let's continue. So that's why they deal more with the Chinese. The Chinese paying like $10,000, $15,000 for just one work permit. Jesus. Santil told the FBI's lead informant, Jamaicans pay a lot and the Jamaican be the same amount. But the Spanish people, the Spanish and the Chinese, it's absurd. It's absurd. They make money off. You know, they pay a lot of money. Of course, he's speaking in broken dialect with his recording, so just repeating it exactly as he said it. He also said that's why like the only way that when you see to senior officer in the immigration department or some officers, when they ask you for a set amount, you got to make sure like what they ask you for, you come with it. Otherwise, you might not get it because like they have like some other nationality to make money off. Santil had also claimed he was in possession of 6 or 7 work permits, telling the FBI informant he had been holding them since December 17 due to non-payment. That's a boss. There's a Haitian doing this in your country, and it's been going on, and it's going on even more now. Y'all better wake up. All right? I'm seeing some of the comments up moving. I wonder if there's having some freezing up issue going on here. I hope it isn't. Let me just make a little pause and double check to make sure we still operational. Okay, I see it moving again. Oh, y'all just reading bad times. It look like we still up and running. So, all right. All right. Let's continue. More bedtime story. Y'all stay tuned. There's more to come, and we're gonna read a U.S. document. Right? Stay tuned. All right. Yeah. Get into the U.S., said Santil during the January recorded conversation with the informant. I do these applications for people. I fill out the visa form for visa and everything. You know what I'm saying? He continued. So I'm not going to charge you big I'm just going to charge you the fee to put in the application, like, and do the bank letter to say that you should have an account. And then, even like if you don't have an account at the bank, I can get the letter from the bank saying that you have some money in their account and blah, blah, blah. Santil said, we go from there, and the people who can sign for the permit, I tell you, the signer is someone who have access, and the people have access to fly to the United States. So when they are checking the system, they'll see the person who signed as the boss of, as someone who gonna have access to the United States. Gonna make it easy for the person, for the application to get a visa. I do visa application and things. So I know how to make arrangement for them to be qualified to get a visa. Fees. Haitian nationals, Devin Desea, John Lee Paul, Edna Sinfleur, and an unnamed co-conspirator, along with Bahamian Pauline Pratt, alias Paulina Charmaine Pratt, and Pauline Johnson, are facing charges of conspiracy and visa fraud. It was Sinfleur who introduced the U.S. informants, referred to as confidential human sources, CHS 123, to Centil. It remains unclear whether there was any coordination with Bahamian law enforcement as the initial meetings between Centil and the lead FBI informant, CHS-1, took place in Nassau on January 9th and 10th, but all subsequent meetings were conducted in the U.S. Centil told CHS-1 that he used money to create a path for his customers in immigration, Mr. Gordon's affidavit read. Centil explained that the immigration staff would ignore legitimate applications and would only work on the part where they're making money. In other words, that's why they take so long, because they making money. Centil quoted the lead informant, CHS-1, $11,000 to obtain Bahamian work permits for the other two informants, 2 and 3. In addition to his own profit, Centil broke down the payment for each permit as $1,500 for the fake employer, $2,500 for an immigration official, $1,500 for related costs like application fee, labor certificate, advertisement, police and medical certificates, and miscellaneous payments to other officials. The lead FBI informant paid Centil $5,500 during a February 10th meeting at the airport in Fort Lauderdale, also providing a copy of CHS-3's passport and passport photos. The informant promised to pay Centil an additional $500 if he brought the work permit back to the U.S., and that he would pay for CHS-2's permit after he got the first permit. Centil told the informant $3,000 would be used to bribe a senior immigration official. The pair met again at the airport in Fort Lauderdale in May, and Centil told the informant that St. Fleur was no longer trying to get a U.S. visa, but instead was in the process of buying a Bahamian passport from him for $3,000. Centil then suggested the informant consider purchasing a marriage to a U.S. citizen, stating that there were advantages to obtaining U.S. citizenship through fraudulent marriage compared to obtaining a U.S. visa. Centil explained CHS-3 would be in the Bahamas legally due to his work permit, and a U.S. citizen could come to the country to marry him. He said that the marriage for one person would cost $13,000. In the Bahamas, Centil said he don't have to go to Haiti to get married, because he in Nassau legally with the work permit and thing. So anyone come in and marry him, all the process and be done at the embassy. Centil insisted he had executed such an arrangement for plenty of people and had a perfect rate of success. Centil obtained a 2-year work permit for CHS-3 and a handyman for his company's Centil's painting and cleaning services. The Tribune has withheld the name of the official who signed the permit. Centil alleged he paid the immigration official $3,000 for, and guess who that is? $3,000 for the permit that same day. On August 18th, Centil met with CHS-1 in Miami and provided him with the Bahamas work visa card for CHS-3. During the meeting, Centil told the informant it would cost more money to obtain a work permit for CHS-2 because of the problems and costs increased dealing with CHS-3's documents. The informant paid a $1,100 deposit for CHS-2's work permit. However, at the meeting, Centil suggested the informant consider smuggling CHS-2 to the U.S. by private boat. So I have a connection with a white man who has a boat, a private boat, Santil said. When people hear I have like a couple people who book with me already, I just go on his private boat, and then it's something small. So, but he stutters. It's all costs a lot. When I say a lot, 6,500 is the charge to do it. Santil explained, you see how much money this Haitian man is making doing his criminal business in the Bahamas. And he is not alone. The others doing it right now while bragging about being smarter than y'all. 6,500 is charged to do it. Santil explained the boat left from Bimini to Miami for Fort Lauderdale, adding it was safe and trips were always successful. The 6,500 did not cover the cost of air travel to Bimini, he said. As for CHS3 arranged marriage, Santil said his cousin assisted him with sourcing women. The informant told Santil he would be getting 16,500 for a new job in the District of Columbia in September and would be ready to make the transaction. The pair agreed to meet again in D.C. and on September 27th, when the informant would pay Santil $14,000 to smuggle CHS3 into the country and arrange the marriage with a U.S. citizen. You see how much big money going on? Santil was arrested at that meeting. Mr. Good previously worked for 4 years in the Caribbean Basin with focus on immigration enforcement and migrant smuggling enforcement operations concerning illegal entry from Haiti and the Bahamas. The FBI agent noted his affidavit did not include all information known by the government, only the facts necessary to support the case. In Santil's recorded statements, he identifies 3 senior officials working in the Department of Immigration as being involved in his activities. The Tribune, for the moment, has chosen not to name these officials. All right? And so, just show you the whole thing so you can see it. And so that's another story, and I'm giving you stuff that's in public domain now. All right? And so, before I show you that one, here is so I'm taking you back to Fred Mitchell because we're going back and forth to these because I'm showing you how there's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and certain people like to be the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and you're now going to see why. Remember, Brent Simmons used to like do that. That's where the big money is, all right? Because that's how you give the visas and you get people straight. So Brent Simmons had the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Immigration under him, all right? Because that's where the big money is with getting these people straight, all right? And you see Fred Mitchell likes to go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. There's this visa stuff that's going on. Notice that we are the only country, I believe, with a embassy open in Haiti right now. The U.S. has asked all of their people to leave. Everyone must leave. Other countries have left. But we still there. You know why? Because they're giving out visas. And the planes are coming filled every day, including Bahamas Air every Tuesday and every Saturday, fill the capacity. They had last week, they had over 200 persons coming on one day from Haiti with visas. Can you do the math? They are paying big money for visas. Big money. When you do the math. So back in those days, they would pay $1,500, $2,500 they said to pay officials for visas. I want to show you what it is now. All right. Let's open this calculator. So they are saying now that this is what a Haitian who had already left for Dominican Republic informed me that they were paying $8,000 for visas to the Bahamas or to Mexico. All right, that's what they were paying for visas under the table. All right, and so 8,000. Imagine I can't confirm that's what it is, but that's what they say. All right, 8,000 because I don't see any other reason. They have our people still over there with their lives at risk. 8,000 times the plane comes with this Bahamas Air alone, 200 260. This ain't the other flights and all them other air that goes on there. But 260 persons a week. This is just Bahamas Air, right? Let's say that many. That's $2 million a week that corrupt officials would make if what this man is saying is true, just off of Bahamas Air. Just off Bahamas Air. But everyday planes come in. All right? And so let's say just off Bahamas Air, we ain't calculating others. Let's times that by 52 weeks. That's $108 million. You see why Fred Mitchell them still in Haiti and they don't want to close our borders? That's $108 million in corrupt money that is allegedly going to government officials just from Bahamas Air. That's Bahamas Air. You think they closing that embassy, the PLP? Let's say with all the other flights combined, because the rest of them do flights every day. They have less, they can hold less persons. Let's just do an estimate and say they probably do about 800, bring in about 800 Haitians a week. All right. I think you could safely round that to about 1,000 because they do several flights every day. No, I could round that to 1,000. I can't say the exact number, but let's say they bring in 1,000 persons a week. With work permits times 8,000 that they say they're paying now. That's $8 million a week. All right? $8 million a week times, and these just numbers, these just estimates, times 52 equal. That's $500 million. Y'all see why the government don't care what you all think about Keith Bell? You all see why Fred Mitchell is all of a sudden so arrogant and like he's going crazy? This is why they running a ring. You all could vote them out. They don't care. They got so much money to put on the ground. Let me make something clear to y'all. I can bring this back up in a minute, right? Make some clear to y'all. These corrupt politicians, by the end of this 5-year term, would have made much money just off immigration. That's just the visas. That ain't the extending of the visa yet. That ain't the work permits yet. And that ain't paying for citizenship yet. This is a and that ain't the people who paying to come on the boat yet. That's $8,000 for each of them. Sometimes they both got 300-400 people on it. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. They don't care about y'all and what y'all think. Y'all sitting down, letting these people get rich, and a lot of them is these same illegal immigrants or some of them who are legal, making crazy money. They're not squatting anymore. They're buying up the property. On top of that, there's a drug ring where they're smuggling drugs. On top of that, there's guns they're smuggling and people they're smuggling, but people smuggling is the big money. When they smuggle drugs, that's drugs they got to pay for, and then they sell to make a profit. When they smuggle a person, that person pays them. You can imagine if every key of cocaine, the cocaine paid you to go on the boat. No, the person pays them. So yeah, they can make a few $1,000s on a key of cocaine profit, but they make free and clear profit from smuggling a person. This is a multi-billion-dollar operation going on. That is why they don't care what you all think. The judge could tell Brave Davis to break down the shanty-downs as much as he wants. They ain't breaking down those shanty-downs because that's their customers. Bahamas, y'all better wake up. That's their customers. One, they make the $8,000 from them to give them the visas. Two, they make a few thousand by extending the visa. Three, They make thousands of dollars. I think it's still 8,000, 10,000, whatever it is. You saw they say it's up. That back then it was up to 15,000, depending on who it was, but Haitians was less. But it's more now. So they can make $8,000, $10,000 getting the work permit straight for them. You see how much money that is? And then later, they are giving them citizenship, which they pay for again under the table. This is a big money ring. Each one of those 400 people you see come on the boat, they're going to make big money from. Let's do the math, the value of each one of those persons to a PLP politician. And FNM, because FNM was doing the same thing. $8,000 for visa or to come on the boat. I honestly don't know what the extension is. I'm going to say, let's say $1,500 to extend. All right? The visa. So that's $9,500. Another $10,000 when they want their work permit. And I've heard people say they would pay even more. So that's $19,500. The later they want to get citizenship, it's another $10,000. So this is almost $30,000 for every individual who comes here on that boat. Thousands of people have come in recent times. Immigration officials have told me that over 2,000 work permits have been given out in Eleuthera alone. And they've been given out irregularly without a lot of processing being done. They've been done improperly. This is crazy. And the PLP is going to have so much money to put on the ground in an election. That's why they're so arrogant. Listen, they are going to come after Pinewood so hard because they don't want me there. Pinewood, I'm asking you to wake up. Their worst nightmare is Lincoln being a Pinewood man in that House of Assembly. They are going to spend big money when Christmas come around. They're going to pump a bunch of money into Pinewood. When Mother's Day come around, when back to school come around, they're going to pump a bunch of money because they want to continue making all the money and giving you crumbs. They want to keep you begging, doing nothing for you. Wake up. They're going to fight the COI tooth and nail because they want that gravy train. You see how much money that is? Billions of dollars. They want that to continue. They can hide that money in Switzerland. But don't worry, we're going to go and find that money. All right? And so we got to wake up. Let me continue. I got some more to show you. I know I opened the phone lines here, but I got some more to show you. It's important today. I want you to understand what is going on. You're going to be in trouble. My conscience will be clear after the day. I warned you all about this new director. The leadership of immigration has warned you all through me. They have messaged through me to tell you all that the Bahamas is in trouble. In their opinion, if this man gets back. So you heard them talk about this WikiLeaks cable. I want you to see this. All right? So this is the WikiLeaks cable they was talking about, the U.S. cable by Mr. Hart, all right, who was the Chargé d'Affaires, D. Brent Hart. So it's classified by Chargé d'Affaires D. Brent Hart for reasons 1.4, B, and D, all right? So this is already out there in the public domain on the internet, so I'm just reading it because it's in the public domain. It's a summary. This is a summary of the whole thing. The Bahamian Consular Affairs Chief Dorothy. So this is a boss. Bahamian Consular Affairs Chief Dorothea LaFleur, in a private lunch with Embassy's consular chief, accused Foreign Minister Fred Mitchell of complicity in pressuring consular officers to issue visas to patently ineligible applicants. That means people who cannot get visas, pressuring them. He further alleged that Mitchell was involved in a fraudulent visa scam to bring into a large to bring into a large group of Chinese nationals. According to the Lafleur, I don't know why they said the Lafleur, Mitchell attempted to pressure consular officers to issue the visas and, when unsuccessful, attempted to bypass Bahamian consular law and the visual leadership. In response, staff walked out strike, forcing Mitchell to back down. Lafleur, see, I always tell you, when you all stand up, they must stand down. Because they want to do dirt, but they don't want hair to be dirty. Bahamas, every time we stand up, they have to stand up down. But you're always scared, Bahamas. So the staff stood up, all right? And Mitchell had to stand down. It says, Lafleur said Mitchell was likely receiving financial kickbacks for the visas that were issued. She said she had no hard proof of this. She also, because they ain't going to put the money directly in Mitchell. She also said that Mitchell did not return to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs even if he and his party win re-election, noting that he has already completely cleaned out his office. Whether or not the allegations are true, Mitchell does face a tough battle for recollection, and there may be a new foreign minister in May. So that's a summary. So basically, cables is messages that the consulate sends back, the embassy / consulate sends back to America on information about the Bahamas. And so they interview people here, they talk to people, politicians, important people, and they send information back so they know what's going on. All right. And so this was the thing on Mitchell now. And I'm showing you how there's an endemic thing in the whole progressive liberal party. These allegations. All right. So let's go to this. Y'all stay with me now. This is important. Number 2, Consular Chief met with Ministry of Foreign Affairs Senior Assistant Secretary. This is the details now. Secretary for Affairs Dorothea Lafleur on April 12th at Lafleur's invitation. All right, at Lafleur's. And so she wanted to report what she was seeing. She couldn't take it no more. She didn't trust talking to anyone in the Bahamas, so she called to talk to the U.S. Embassy to say this foolishness going on in this country. You see? During the lunch meeting, let me make sure I said it right. Met with Senior Assistant Secretary for Council Affairs. Yes. Right. So Lafleur called them to meet with them because she didn't like what she was seeing going on in the Bahamas. So she's a whistleblower. All right. During the lunch meeting, Lafleur accused Foreign Minister Fred Mitchell of complicity in visa fraud by pressuring his staff to issue visas to ineligible visa applicants and specifically to qualified Chinese nationals. According to Lafleur, Mitchell directly ordered her to issue visas to 30 Chinese nationals. Oh, see the Chinese thing coming back up again? Call made Keith Bell. Called the Deputy Prime Minister name. Deputy Prime Minister said, I never tell a man nothing. Lied to a government official on the Deputy Prime Minister's name. Lied and said he got approval for these people. And remember, these Chinese people disappeared the next day. They didn't apply to be regularized. They totally disappeared from the country. But anyway, I'll continue on this one. According to Lafleur, Mitchell directly ordered her to issue visas to 30 Chinese nationals whose applications were sponsored by a member of Parliament, Sidney Stubbs. Remember him? Note, Sidney Stubbs is a notorious local politician often accused of corruption. End note. Lafleur forwarded the applications to her visa secretary staffer, Sands, to investigate the suspicious-looking cases, who subsequently deemed them fraudulent. Lafleur then refused to issue the visas. I'm telling y'all, there are senior persons in this Bahama land who are willing and ready to do the right thing, who are ready to end corruption and enter the new Bahamas and do things right. But it's just that there's no hope for them because y'all keep electing these corrupt, crooked PLP and F&M who are forcing their hand. And who do you go to? You can't go to the courts. The judge is appointed by these same politicians. You can't go to the police. They're always controlled by the politicians, as now the previous commissioner has admitted. And you can see it with this commissioner. Who do you go to? The Attorney General sits in the cabinet. Who do you go to? And so many of these government officials want to do what's right, not because they're political, because in a lot of instances, this their party they're speaking out against. They're in the position because their party put them there, but they're speaking out. But let's continue reading. You're going to see it. Y'all stay with me, man. Stay with me. Lafleur then refused to issue the visas. All right? 3. When Mitchell insisted Lafleur issue the visas, she requested more information on the Chinese applicant. So Mitchell is putting pressure on her. Same thing that Keith Bell is accused of doing in the Ministry of Immigration. The same thing repeating itself because y'all keep putting them back. The same thing, pressuring them. See, remember, this is what they're accusing them of. When Mitchell insisted Lafleur issue the visas, she requested more information on the Chinese applicants. She was informed by Mitchell and Stubbs that they all were high-level managers at large, multinational Chinese companies in China, and were coming to the Bahamas at the invitation of Stubbs for business-related travel. And so Mitchell told her this bold-faced lie. This is again. She was informed by Mitchell and Stubbs that they were all high-level managers at large, multinational Chinese companies in China, and were coming to the Bahamas at the invitation of Stubbs for business-related travel. That's what Mitchell told him. Lafleur sent the documents to the Chinese embassy in Nassau to ascertain whether the companies listed were legitimate. The Chinese embassy in Nassau, after a week-long interview, stated that they had no record of any of the companies listed by the minister, by Fred Mitchell, the lying wonder, with the exception of one company which they characterized as a small mom and pop operation in China. Lafleur again refused to issue the visa. So she refused the first time. Fred Mitchell put pressure on her, so she investigates some more. And after investigation, she refused again. Number 4. Lafleur claims that as a result of her, remember this official U.S. documents. Lafleur claims that as a result of her refusals, Mitchell appointed another official above her in the Consular Affairs Office. So Mitchell, look what he did. Put someone over her so that he has someone to make the decisions. You see? What they doing with Faustine, Major Smith, and with Keturah Ferguson, replacing them, push them out. Let's put my man in there so I could get some more dirt done. Wake up, Bahamas. Lafleur claims that as a result of her refusal, Mitchell appointed another official above her in the Consular Affairs Office who would have the authority to issue over Lafleur's denials. Wow. This unlawful appointment provoked the entire Consular Division to go on strike. Comment. This is what the U.S. put in their comment because they wanted to make note of this. Because the important part of democracy is the fourth estate, which is the media. But look what they put in there. The consulate went on strike because of this. But they say, comment, the strike was widely reported in the news, but it was attributed to administrative issues in the consular division. So the news reported it because they denied it, but when they reported it, they twisted the story and made it look like, no, there was some administrative stuff going on. They striking maybe for, I guess, for pay, overtime, whatever. The regular stuff you strike about. They didn't say what they was really striking about. You see how America made a note of what the media in this country does? You see? And the media continues to twist the truth, hide the truth, and spin. Just like they don't want the truth about the natural resources to go out there, and so they're banning me from the media. They don't want me to be in the media. They don't want me on their talk shows. But now Obi Wilstrom is going to try to find someone else and anoint them Barabbas and put them forward to say, hey, y'all forget about Lincoln being a COI. Choose this one and listen to him on the natural resources. Vote for him. That's their plan. But in any event, the U.S. noted how twisted the media can be. Mitchell was forced to remove his appointee from the oversight position to end the strike. So the people stood up, and Mitchell, they broke his back. So Brokeback Mitchell got his back broken. Stand up, Bahamas. Stand up, immigration. Stand up. Don't be afraid. He then tried to get the Chinese visas approved by issuing power to the Bahamian embassy in Beijing. Look how they tried to go around, you see, because they will make this money. He then tried to get the Chinese visas approved by issuing power to the Bahamian embassy in Beijing, because, they assigned the ambassador there. So, you know what? Let's let the ambassador over there give the visas. That's how they go. Staffed by an ambassador. That idea was quashed when the permanent secretary asked consular affairs about the idea and was told that the ambassador had no consular training and that the UK embassy in Beijing was more qualified by virtue of language and culture familiarity to issue visas on behalf of the Bahamas. Lafleur also stated that Mitchell had sent another Bahamian to China to promote travel and visas to the Bahamas, but that person lacked diplomatic status there and had been removed from the country as a visa overstay. Fred Mitchell was trying everything, according to this lady. Number 5. Asked why Mitchell would be personally interested in facilitating fraudulent visas issuance to Chinese nationals, Lafleur alleged that Mitchell received a portion of whatever fee the Chinese nationals paid for the visa. While lacking hard proof, Lafleur cited the lack of support for the visas from the Chinese embassy and the involvement of notorious Sidney Stubbs. Lafleur also expressed relief that Mitchell would not be returning as Minister of Foreign Affairs, citing internal sources and noting that Mitchell had already completely cleaned out his office at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Raftel. Lafleur said that regardless of which parties wins the election, Minister Mitchell would not be returning. Lafleur noted that she favored the governing PLP in the upcoming election. Let me repeat that again. Lafleur noted that she favored the governing PLP in the upcoming election as long as the PLP does not reappoint Mitchell as Foreign Affairs. Ms. Lafleur was a PLP, appointed by the PLP, and voting for the PLP. You see? It's their own. They stand up against the skullduggery that this PLP always does when they get in power. The FNM does it too, but they do it under the table. Number 6. Comment. Lafleur's bribery allegation adds credence to allegations that have long been circulating in the Bahamas regarding Minister Mitchell. Wow, let me read that again. This is what the U.S. say. This U.S. comment. Mr. Lafleur's bribery allegation adds credence to allegations that have long been circulating in the Bahamas regarding Minister Fred Mitchell, and which are being used by the opposition to discredit Mitchell, who faces a tight race against formidable opposition candidate for his parliamentary seat. The allegation also fits with a number of events that took place and suspicions that have been suggested by Ministry of Foreign Affairs contacts. All right? So other persons in Ministry of Foreign Affairs have already been saying similar stuff. For example, a staff walkout did take place within recent months that was poorly understood and explained in the media. Newspaper reports have, however, hit around the edges of the scandal. See, that's what they do. Okay, Minister Mitchell said this, that's that. They don't investigate nothing. Just touch around the edges. And Mitchell is squarely in the crosshairs of the Free National Movement as its anti-corruption. It's about trust election theme. In fact, FNM leader Ingram has privately pledged to devote whatever resources it takes to defeat Mitchell. So the FNM was putting all their money down to beat Fred Mitchell. This is how the PLP and FNM is trying to put all their money down to go after Pinewood. That's what they do. All right. The fact that Mitchell now also appears to be a target of his own senior staff, even staff that supports his party's re-election, adds more credibility to the view that Mitchell may not keep his foreign affairs portfolio even if he and the PLP are able to win re-election. That's the end, signed by Hart. All right? And so this is the actual document put out there by the U.S. government with serious concerns. Now, the last thing I want to show you is what Mitchell did afterwards, because he had to do something. This was really bad, even though most Bahamians did not pay attention to this. All right? Mitchell Lem went after this woman. All right? Watch out. The official who accused Foxhill MP Fred Mitchell of pressuring foreign affairs staff to grant visas to 30 unqualified foreigners was herself under investigation by police, according to documents filed in court yesterday. A May 8, 2007 report by the Police Forces Central Intelligence Bureau noted that senior foreign, that's like our CIA, all right, but a lot of y'all don't even know that this exists. All right, noted that senior foreign affairs officer Dorothy LaFleur was suspected of selling entry visas to foreigners for $1,500 each. Mr. Mitchell filed this document with the Supreme Court along with his sworn affidavit as part of his defamation lawsuit against Ms. LaFleur. So he sued her for defamation, all right, who, according to a document uncovered by WikiLeaks, told the U.S. Embassy Mr. Mitchell attempted to commit visa fraud while serving as foreign affairs administrator, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So there's a lot of good stuff in here too. But the reason I read this, all right, the reason I showed you this one here is because you see what Mitchell did. I'm gonna stop sharing for a minute so y'all can look me in my eyes. All right. I want you to see exactly what Mitchell did here. And I want to say this is a warning to all the civil servants. I want to say this to all civil servants. What they do is they get you to do the dirty work. They pressure you to do it. Because if you don't do it, you don't get your package when you retire. You don't get the extra job that you now need when you retire. They can pressure you. They can transfer you somewhere else. They can treat you bad. They can treat you like dirt if you don't do what they say. But guess what? Your hands dirty because they made you do it. They're going to say, me? That's her signature on there. And guess what? It appears that Mitchell did. This is my opinion of what he did. You get them to do some stuff, even though they don't want to do it. They do it anyway because they feel there's no help or hope from nowhere. All right? They're like in a house where you're a little girl and you're getting molested by the man in the house, and who you go to, who you can talk to, where you can live if you talk. It's pressure. That's how a lot of our government officials feel. And so what he did was he reported her first. Well, after that, say, listen, y'all open investigation. So let me tell you all who they getting to do stuff for them. While they're getting you to do it, they already have their police who they appointed doing an investigation on you. Because your hand dirty, not theirs. They ain't taking no money directly. And they saying, investigate them. So if something happened, we can say, boy, we was ever investigating this person. Damn, they dirty. Don't listen to them. That's the trick. Stop doing their dirty work. The law now empowers you as of 2018 to be a whistleblower. You will be rich if they touch you after you blow the whistle. In fact, you get a better package if you blow the whistle. Blow the whistle on them. Blow it. Don't be afraid. because they get turned it on you. You see what Fred Mitchell did? He sued her, and then sooner he say, see, the police was always investigating her. Don't listen to her. He tried to shut her up because she's stuck here. She can't go to America. She's stuck here. She tried to go to them hoping that they would do something. The only thing we can do, Bahamas, is stand up. This corruption must stop, or we're going to be flooded, overrun in short order. I am calling for you to join us on October 4th. We're going to have a peaceful protest. Again, ignore that stuff that the PLP put out there saying that they were Bahamas Punch and talking for trucks to block up road. I ain't blocking up no road. I ain't got time for no foolishness. We're going out there to show numbers. The number one way to remove a government is to fill the square and refuse to move. If you fill the square, the government will be gone on that week. The government will be gone. That's international law. You watch it all the time on TV, but you never exercise your power. If enough of you show up, the government gone now. If you sit down and do nothing, then you got 3 years of this. The choice is yours. Either way, we're going to continue to stand up. But I'm going to be there to let the government know that we see what you're doing. And our country is not for sale. Our citizenship is not for sale. You can't have this. Because now you have people who are, one, going to be getting our names, our crown land, our everything. I told you, you would remember me telling you on these same lives. I warned you, and I'm going to open the phone lines right now, even though we're just over 2 hours. All right, I'm gonna open the phone lines. I gotta hear from you. I gotta let the government hear from you, and I need to know if you're coming. Because if you ain't coming, I need to know. All right. The government. I told you there were meetings that were had with officials from another country and Keith Bell. And they were talking about the immigration situation. This after Brave had gone overseas and made the deal. And he came back. And he said, I didn't sign nothing. I ain't signed. And he keeps stressing that he ain't signed. But of course, all his action shows you what he really did. All right? He agreed to allow our borders to be flooded. And the second phase, I told you, the second phase of that meeting of that they established was to house these people and to slowly eradicate the shanty towns. But they were going to provide housing for these people. And as they provide housing for them, then they would start breaking down systematically the shanty towns to make it look like, see, we're getting rid of the shanty towns. But while they're providing housing and building all these houses, and a lot of Haitian contractors are going to get the jobs, wake up, and the Haitians are going to get the jobs. While they're building these houses, they're going to tell you that they're building houses for Bahamians. Now, you ain't going to know who going in the houses, but they can tell you they're building houses for Bahamians, but these are going to be paper Bahamians. This won't be you. They can put some of y'all in there to make it look good, but they're going to mix the other people in it. While a lot of us who need housing is going to be left out. Remember what I told you. Remember this. You are warned. Your resources, your crown land, etc., is going to go to providing housing for these people. During that meeting, Keith Bell requested $11 million to start the process. Okay? I know what I'm saying. And now they moved him from being Minister of Immigration. Now they have a director, so they can do more damage now. They moved him from being the Minister of Immigration to being the Minister of Housing. Phase 1 is complete. Phase 2 will now begin. Watch housing. But if you stand up, we can end all of this now, and we can start the new Bahamas. Stand up, Bahamas. Stand up. Say something. Your country is going to be gone. My conscience is clear. The phone lines are open. It's 803-5995. We have 2 lines. It's 803-5995. It is also 821-2843. So I'll just keep you on hold while I'm talking to the other person on the line. All right? 803-5995. is the number, 803-5995, or 821-2843. Someone type that in the comments. 821-2843. Okay, the phone is already ringing. Sorry, I have it on silently. I'll get that off for you. Good afternoon. You're live.
Good night, my president. How are you?
I'm alive. How you doing?
I am great. I just want my Bahamian people from all islands, if they can come in the square. Because when you pass in the street the other day, I was driving, come Michael, I saw the lady right there, the Southwest Plaza. That's where she's sleeping. And now this minister, Mr. Keith Bell, is going to be the minister of housing. And Bahamians are still picking peas of the crap and are homeless. They're all over.
Yep.
This is so sad. Bahamians, we cannot wait for 3 years. We cannot. This country, listen, I work with someone that does tour. The guests are complaining that this is not the Bahamas that they visited 25 years ago. It has gone down.
This is true.
They say they're tired of approaching people and asking people, and they barely can speak English.
Wow.
They said they're not coming back. A lot of them said they're not coming back.
Yep.
And they're asking me, Mona, why are there so many Haitians downtown and they barely speak English? I said, and I tell them the truth. I said, because this corrupt government we have in is selling out our visas, our citizenship. And it's like, wow, when are you guys going to stand up? They are sad that we do not stand up.
Yeah.
One lady said it happened in Puerto Rico, whereas corrupt they were selling out, and now here it is every foreigners that owns the stores. You have a lot of Indians downtown. They own 4 and 5 stores right opposite each other, and they have Bahamians working them and paying them pennies. But Bahamians, we have to do this clarion call in the name of Jesus. We cannot wait. We cannot just stand in the square, please. Bring your 5-gallon bucket to do what you have to do. But you have to remain there until they come out. That's our only way out. Because they don't care and they don't respect us.
Yeah.
But my Bahamian people, be encouraged and see you on the 4th.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
Good
man.
evening.
All right. It's October 4th. Well, pay attention now. And you can call any of those numbers on WhatsApp or regular call. Apparently, your live gave me the number back. So 803-5995, you can call a regular line or WhatsApp. I saw others was trying to call in. So you can call or 821-2843. 821-2843. 821-2843. All right, those are the numbers that you can call in. We're in serious trouble, serious trouble in this country, and we only ask you to stand up. All right, and so I really want to say thank you to our leaders of immigration who are staff. Good afternoon, you're live.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Bain. How are you doing today?
I'm awesome. How you doing?
I'm awesome too, sir. I'm getting this with you. Awesome, man. Anyway, Mr. Bain, I want to lead to what you were saying as far as with the illegal immigrants that they're smuggling in. Hey, one of the things I want to say is that this money-making scheme is not so on the islands, and because you're holding statuses for numerous of migrants, and they themselves don't have a place, business, or even a place to stay. This is all a lot of people, all of them are making money and doing illegalities. The government of the Bahamas have neglected the people of the Bahamas and the Bahamas itself. and I am one to say that it has to stop. I know a lot of people are here, and I'm asking them to come out and support you on the day that you're going out there. I plan to be there with my placard, and I hope that every real Bahamians need to stand up now. And I thank you very much, sir. And again, I support you, and I will continue to support you because what you're doing is something that it's a blessing that someone like yourself has the gumption to stand up to these corrupt, I didn't even know what to call them, but this was, I don't even want to say animals, but I can say animals. Someone has to stand up to them. And I thank you again. And again, I support you. And a lot of Bahamians support you because we see what's happening. Okay? Others want to play dumb. We're not dumb.
Thank you
very much, Mr. Bain. I'm going to let the line go. All right. Thank you again, sir.
All right. Thank you, too. Good afternoon, guys.
Hello, Mr. Bain.
Yes, go ahead.
I appreciate you,
Just
sir.
hold the line, please.
I took one point from your talk today. Who do we go to, Mr. Bain? If everyone is involved in this mess we got going on, who do we go to? You know, and the point even now today is you have a problem with the administrations. You can't get anything settled. Nothing whatsoever. Nothing.
And so the only solution is to remove the PLP and FNM because the same problem has been happening under both of them.
And that's the truth, son. I live on one of the family islands, and oh man, it's hard. It's hard.
I can assure you, if you let Pintard get in there, Pintard was a puppet and acolyte of Fred Smith. All right? I've warned you. Fred Smith will control this country. And you know what's going to happen.
Every day I read, they say they're doing so good in this, and this is doing well, and that is doing well. But the cops go up every day. If we're doing so good, why are we getting do like this?
We're not doing good. All right? They're false numbers. All right? More tourists are coming here. It has nothing to do with our government. It's because people were locked down, and it's called revenge vacation. All right? People are now traveling because they've been locked down for so long, and the Bahamas is an easy, cheap place to go, and the cruise ships are choosing our destination. We didn't choose them, or we are not bringing them here. The cruise ships choose it because it's a cheap way to come here. They spend less fuel. They could give them something while giving them most of the amenities on the ship, and they can make more money, profits from bringing them to the Bahamas. All right, instead of going all the way to Jamaica, all the way to Mexico, or all the way to Trinidad or somewhere else. So they're making a lot of money doing it. It's nothing to do with anything our government is doing.
I can ask one more question, please, Mr. Bain.
Go ahead.
I'm confused as who do our government take their directives from? Because I know they get us in control, but I know we try to complain to international orders. What directives are they getting from international orders?
Our government takes directives from the person who pays for their election, all right? And that's the oligarchs. The oligarchs, mostly white, but also black oligarchs, control who wins the election by pumping money there because they know that Bahamians will sell their souls for a T-shirt with $50 or a fridge or a stove, etc. And they believe that that is the way in order to win elections. That's why they try to control who have money. That's why they don't want to empower you, because they believe money determines who wins the elections. So the oligarchs control them. Internationally, they have international forces that also have some influence over them. But you can see sometimes America has some influence, sometimes China has some influence, all right? And it depends on who's willing to do what. And so no one has handcuffs on our government. They just go to the highest bidder. That's all it is.
So the IMFs and all the people give all the money in the central banks, they're not aware of all these malfunctions going on, and they still dispersing all.
They are aware. The U.S. government they write reports about the corruption in the Bahamas all the time. They write reports about the corruption in immigration, the corruption in contracts, and the issuing of contracts all the time. They always write about it. But of course, our politicians don't care. They don't care. They're making that money, and they could care less what the U.S. or anyone else has to say. As you can see, we need change. But thanks for your call, man. We have a lot of people trying to get in.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I hear you too.
All right, see you. Good afternoon, you're live.
Hey, me?
Yes, go ahead, caller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bean and the Bahamas. I just want to call you. I appreciate how you always have the documents to back up what you're saying. So it's always on us as Bahamians to make the choice. You know, you already make the clarion call. I just asking people to come out. Come out. If you all don't come out, like our efforts would we doing in vain. We out there trying to fight on your behalf, and we should come together for any old foolishness. You understand? We should be. I mean, if you on the island, the family islands, we need you to come to Nassau. If you are away, we need you to come home. We need y'all to come to the square. We need to let this government know that enough is enough. You know, I know, you do so much. You know, you and Miss Maria Daxon, you're always getting, everybody, like they say, no one is get, prophet don't get praise and recommendation in their country, you know. So a lot of people, they trying to fight against you, but you're all fighting for the benefits of the Bahamian people.
Yeah.
You understand? I ask the people, please, man, this basically our last chance. I wouldn't even go into depth the money and these things that these people making, but y'all can see it on the streets. You have people who can't afford cars, who can't afford houses, and these people get houses and cars, and they biggity, and they say Bahamian people don't want to work, and you ain't smart, and you're this thing and the next, but it's because you don't want to stand up. You understand? And we here fighting for y'all, and y'all ain't trying to stand up, right? All I asking, all I begging, all I pleading, man. I here fighting, and the reason why I ain't fighting for me, because today or tomorrow, I feel like I live a good life. I have children here, and you all have children. Children shouldn't have to go through this, man. They shouldn't have to decipher through in the future when they go in the classrooms. In the classroom, you can't even learn with these different, like, it's too much, man.
Yeah.
You have too much diversity in this country, and I just ask people, please, y'all. If you all love your country, listen to Mr. Bean. Listen to our please, and please, like, get your tickets. If y'all got to come by boat, come by plane, because they come in. Every day they come into our country.
Yep.
And the government makes it look like they trying to do something about it, but they shuffling the Haitians
and I can see why you fighting, because I could hear the baby in the background. And if we don't win this election coming up, there will be no Bahamas for that baby. We must win this one. We must win Bahamas. You all wake up. We must win. Thanks for your call. I appreciate it.
Y'all have a blessed day.
All right. I saw other people trying to get through. 803-5995, 821-2843. They're the numbers. You can call in now. This is serious, Bahamas. We must win this. You are seeing what's going on. You are seeing it before your very eyes. They're doing it right in front of your face, heartlessly. I mean, they're bringing back this man. I mean, Commissioner of Inquiry Pratt. Good afternoon, you're live.
Yes, good day. Yeah, I'll be there, rain or shine, because like I tell people, like the other gentleman who just called and said, this is our last. If we don't fix this, well, listen, our children and our grandchildren will have every right to cuss us, because you know why? We didn't stand up. Wow. But you know what bothers me about it? Even though I'll be there, rain or shine, I've been there before, and dragged away by police. But I can tell you this: what bothers me is that the cowardness and in the lot of the Bahamian people and the Bahamian men, they'd rather sit down, play dominoes, they'll get together, buy the rum and bottles, put it on the table, and they'll have a party. But they can't get together when it comes to fighting for their country. Wow. But the time we're going to come, and if they don't realize it, it's just what you said, it's going to be a sad reality for many. And it is quite evident, all the hands writings is on the wall. But I can say this also, in this country right now, it's in Bahamians. I hear Bahamians complaining about work, private contractors who's work for themselves, where they do painting, tile laying, carpentry. They're saying a lot of the jobs they go on is dominated by Haitians now. And guess what? When the Haitian paper Bahamians get these contracts, they hiring Haitians. They ain't hiring Bahamians. They can hire Haitians who just reach, who they could pay anything and don't complain. Because in Haiti, the average pay is $50 a month. I know this a fact. I live in Haiti for the Prince for 2 months.
Yeah.
Over 2 months. So
I had staff in Haiti before, and I can tell you that is the truth, what you're saying.
Right. And just what if you want to be a Haitian making money, a friend of mine over there, he was a translator for an NGO. He used to make $100 a week to speak English, and he had university education, and that was considered good. You know, but I telling you, to begin, what needs to happen? What needs to happen is this: the spirit of Burma Road that was on our grandparents and great grandparents need to be released upon every behemoth this time on every rock, island, and key. If not, listen, we doom. A lot of people don't know the gravity of this. I told my daughter when she turned 18 come January, I can't get registered. Her voice spoke BCOI. I tell her, you have to vote. And I drill that in her head. I tell people, if you don't vote, you don't have a voice. Don't complain. Don't complain. You know, I've heard young men saying in their 30s they never vote in their life. I say, but you better go and register and vote. You know, sit right there. But I will be there, Austin Square, rain or shine. But one who knows, I may get arrested again. Who cares?
Ain't nothing to get arrested for. You know that they've stopped that, and I mean, don't even say that to try to scare people off. We don't care. We're gonna do what we have to do. We're gonna apply, do things the right way, and we're gonna go out there. We're gonna have a peaceful protest. We're gonna show up, and we're gonna say what we have to say, and that's that. All right.
Yeah, even though we go there and do things in the right manner, in the right way. I remember CARICOM, and I remember in other ways, they watch the police. Mark my word, the police and defense force can be out there in numbers, but I don't care. I am one behemoth who coming. I don't care. I come in rain or shine, and I hope a lot of these young behemoth men and these behemoth women, and even the older men like you in my age, I'm 48, many of them I know for a fact they rather sit down every day on the damn lily tree, slamming dominoes and drinking. Same crew every day. Never see them yet. I tell them out, you know, they don't come. I know they ain't come, but I come in. I know what I'm fighting for, because when my children and in the future look at my face and tell me, say, hey, you know, Daddy, how come so and so? At least I can say, listen, Daddy, try and give it all. Even got arrested a few times, but at least I know I tried. But anyway, I can see you all there. I will either rain or shine. October 4th. Believe that.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
All
right, man. All right. So last time we went out at the Prime Minister's office, police cooperated. I think they realized that they can't do the foolishness they were doing before, and they realized that the gig is up. They gotta do what's right. All right. I think they realize that now, and I expect that they're gonna be on their best behavior. All right. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good afternoon. You're live.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dan. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. By the way, you're doing a phenomenal job in bringing the information to the Bahamian people. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, man.
What I call to say is that what is going on with the Director of Immigration is atrocious.
It is.
And if we sit back and allow them to just pick all of us off one by one, then that's what's going to happen. Just like we need to stand up behind immigration the immigration people, because guess what? They're standing up for us. So we should have their back and have everybody else back, because this is an attack on the union. That's all I have to say, Mr. Ben, and continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, we got more callers on the line. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ben. Good
Just hold the line for
afternoon,
me.
COI.
Just hold the
This
line.
is Sister J on the line. It's good to hear your voice. It's good to be in the line of the living.
Good day,
but
Sister
I just
J.
want to talk.
It's so good to hear from you.
Yeah, man, I right here on the wall, but you know, I told you some little situation.
Yes.
But I just have to celebrate, so to all of those 68 and old like myself, man. The fight, you need, if you can't come out there when you get the waste note, send them out. You know what I'm saying? And the police force realize that when the price go up in the food store, that they got to pay the same price as us. The police realize, but I realize now, baby, that most of the police them is a Thai group. They only could go so far and no further because if they want to pay mortgage. But I want you to know that I believe that there's more with us than against us.
Yes.
You know what I saw the other day? And I'm going to give other person a chance, because you know I could run on till Jesus come. But let me tell you something. The other day they was doing a house round by us, and I saw the Haitian man carry every piece of lumber from off that ground. So when you look at the shacks that is building, it's the Haitian stuff that is on the construction site now. They're carrying all the leftover woods, and that's how come they're building up the shanty town.
Yes.
And listen here. I want y'all to know without a shadow of a doubt, Mr. Bird Davis with his white bead on his hand, his downfall will be just like Mr. Dr. Menace. When I was telling victorious.
Yeah.
Now, I already get this day from the 10th to the 16th as the Lord's Day. But as I study and do the research on that Lord's Day, people go back into ancient Egyptian warfare or witchcraft, whatever you call it. But I come to let the Bahamian people, man, it's time that the grandmothers and the mothers stand up, man.
Yeah.
It's time that the Bahamian now, I won't be disrespectful, but stop man, quiddling, man, and come on. You know what I mean? Let your voice be heard and let us as Bahamian women for you, because the Harry Tubman is today. The time for the Harry Tubman is over now. We need to follow that man them in this country. We need to, you notice in Haiti when all the men them rushing out, calm down how much women is beating the Haitian them there when they running in Haiti. It only be man carrying branch and carrying on.
Look, Percy! Look, Percy! Let me just say that I have always been a part of this community. And there's no accident I know how to do all the dancing. Because I always be and share with you. Because you are me and I am you. And I'll be here with you always. And those who knew me from the past and know me now, they always knew that I was there and always been there for you. I don't call you all, no, you all are not Haitians, Bahamians. You are Bahamian, and your origin is Haitian. Mine too, and many of us. We have to stay apart for now so we can be together later. In long now.
Are you all ready and willing to go?
Est-ce que nous tous préparons pour retourner back à Haïti?
Okay, sorry, Bach. We had a little technical glitch there. So sorry about that. Sorry about that, Ms. J. We lost you for a second there. All right, we have another call on the line. Good afternoon, you're live.
Lincoln, how you doing, man?
Awesome, man.
Good afternoon, Bahamas. Yeah, Lincoln. I was just tuning into your live just a couple of minutes ago, and I was listening to the gentleman before this lady called, whoever called before me, and what he was saying is quite true. I mean, you know, I in the construction field, and Bahamians have cut themselves short. You know, they teach these Haitians the trade, and I proved it before too. I was doing a project, and I had to stop for a little bit, and I went back. The gentleman called me back to finish it off. I gave him a quote to do it, and he said it was too much. And when I passed by the project, when I looked, he had Haitians on the roof doing the job.
Right.
So apparently they undercut me by a couple $1,000 and got the job and still sort of mess it up, you know. So
of course.
I blame my Bahamian contractors for allowing this to happen rather than paying out a couple extra dollars that teach their Bahamian people how to do the job, to continue to be builders and contractors in this country. But they turn around and rather give it to foreigners, and now they outcutting even the contractors, putting the contractors out of the way.
Wow.
Because they don't have to pay the bills that Bahamians have to pay. That's why when Bahamians give a contract price, they have to the price that where they could make a profit, where they could take care of their bills and stuff. But Haitians don't have to do that. They live in the swamps. They live in the bush, so they don't have to pay no light bill. They don't have to pay no water bill. They don't have to pay nothing. It's practically living free. So they get undercut Bahamian contractor by $5,000 to $10,000 and get the job, mess it up, and then
they have to call the real contractor to come behind them, which they ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
The sort of the project because it wasn't done right.
Yeah.
So I blame my Bahamian people for everything that happened in this country. By them putting these politicians in power and teaching the foreigners to do what we're supposed to be doing. You know?
Yeah.
So we in a total mess in this country all around. No matter how you look at it, we're in a mess.
Yeah, we are.
So I hope Lincoln that we could get this change in government and change this system the way it's supposed to be.
Thank you, man. See you on October 4th. All right, thank you for your call. We got other callers in the line. We'll get to you all in 1 second. I just want you all to see this. I want the Bahamas to see this. And remember to go to our website to donate to us. You could donate right there. You can also go to our GoFundMe. You know, you got to do more than just say, y'all keep going and y'all keep making this happen. You got to assist us in making this happen. All right, that's our GoFundMe link on the screen. You're seeing it in all of your chats, and no matter what platform you're watching this on right now, just click on the link or scan what you're seeing on the screen right now. You scan it with your phone, your other device, and you got to support the movement. The only way this can get done is if you make this get done. The PLP has to get sponsors. The FNM has to get sponsors. We have to get sponsors. You got to help us make this happen. All right, we're traveling the islands. You can see what we're doing. We're making this happen, and we got a convention coming up in short order. All right, we're going to make the announcement on Tuesday. All right, we have a convention coming up in short order. Our constitution is ready, and we are going to have the official launch of the Coalition of Independence. Our convention is coming up in short order. All right, and so it's going to be quicker than you think. So get ready. We want all of you to come out to our convention. We're going to give you the date and location on Tuesday. All right, we're going to make the official announcement. But we have a convention coming up, and so all positions are going to be open: leader, deputy leader, chairman, etc., etc. We have a convention coming up. We're going to officially launch our constitution, etc. All right, so make sure that you donate to the cause. We have a convention, so we need you to help us fund that. Go to our website, or you can click on these links, and you can help that get done. All right, I'll leave that up on the screen while but I got to take it down. I'm going to show you this video a sec. I saw a MP caller. I'm going to come to you right in 1 second. Just hold the line. I saw an MP looking for praise for clearing drains in his constituency. This is a Nassau Village MP. All right, I think his name is Mr. Strawn. I saw him looking for praise for cleaning out drains. Now, it's clear that the drains didn't get cleaned out in 2 years. So I don't know how you neglect cleaning drains for 2 years, and when you clean it, you're saying that I'm a man on the job and working, making this thing happen. I think it's ridiculous, and no MP under the COI is going to be allowed to brag for doing their job. If you do something extraordinary, that's a different story. But if a road is paved, if a drain is clean, if you cut the grass, you shouldn't be on social media bragging about doing that, especially if the grass was high and you didn't cut it for months. That's ridiculous. But I want to see what you notice about this video. I'm going to play this video. Caller, just hold the line, don't move. I'm going to play this video, and I want to see what you notice about this video. Let me see what you notice. Let me play it.
Let's make go to church tomorrow. Let's get that done, man. So get some people that go there, who got to sin all week, man. You don't do that yet, wrong. I said, let's make go to church tomorrow. Let's get that done, man. So get some people that go there, who got to sin all week, man. You don't do that yet, wrong. I said, let's make go to church tomorrow. Let's get that done, man. So get some people that go there, who got to sin all week, man. You don't do that yet, wrong. I said,
anyone notice anything? So you couldn't hear me just now. Anyone notice anything? All I hear was broken English and Creole just now. Not one Bahamian taxpayer dollar should go to any foreign national working in this country. Bahamian contracts should go to Bahamians. I don't want to see no dreams getting cleared and people speaking a different language, whether it's Chinese, patois, or anything else. The only thing I should hear is that our tax dollars went to Bahamians. Let's go to the phone lines. Good afternoon, you're live.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. President.
Thank you for holding, man.
Good afternoon, Bahamas. Yes, no problem. My name is Patrick Stewart, calling from Tall Pine constituency. And my question is, under the COI in the Bahamas, what are your plans in reference to banking with those high interest rates and the countless red tape on the Bahamian people?
Awesome. Great question. All right. And thank you for holding to give that great question.
I'll listen to your response online.
Okay. No problem. I'll hang up. So what the best way to influence fees, high fees, and bad treatment is competition. Competition keeps people honest, and it keeps prices from going high. It is the biggest reducer of inflation. Everyone forgets the amount of money we used to spend on cellular phone coverage when BTC first started going into cellular phones. Even when they went to TDMA, when they went to the SIM card, when they went to switch from TDMA to GSM, we used to spend a lot of money. When Alive came around, the prices went all the way down. When the threat of Alive started, the price started going down. When Alive came, the prices went all the way down. All right. And so that forced their hand, because competition is good. So what we're going to do is the same thing that other countries, Arab countries, etc., did. All right. You don't have to stop the banks. We're not going to nationalize the banks. All we have to do is give them competition. So we are going to take over Bank of the Bahamas. Although the government already owns the majority shares, now we're going to take that over, and that through that bank is where we're going to be issuing royalties from our sovereign wealth fund. It's going to be digital, proper digital banking, where you're going to get rewarded your funds digitally, and you're going to get grants. You're going to get loans, no interest loans, that's going to be going to you. There's going to be no fees whatsoever for checks and for all of these things that they offer. Other countries around the world that use their natural resources do it as an incentive to their people. So if the banks want your business, they're going to have to find a way to compete with that. It's simple as that. All right? Because you're not going to be spending these big fees. We're going to make sure that there's a bank on every single island. I don't care if 100 people on the island or 50 people on the island. We're going to have banking on each of these islands that people can have access to. What's happening in the Family Islands right now is an absolute disgrace. All right. And so that is the main way that we're going to be dealing with these things. The new Bahamas is going to transform a lot of things. There's some simple changes that we can make. You heard me talking about air conditions in all of the school. We know it can be done. It will be done. We're going to use district cooling system. I hear people having a debate about whether you could put ductless units in each of the classrooms. You don't need ductless units. We're going to have a district cooling system. The same thing that cools Bahamas, the same thing that cools neighborhoods in the Middle East, all right, where they have degrees over 100 normally. We're going to have district cooling system, and so it's going to reduce load on the grid by 50%, all right, and we're going to cool air is going to go into each of our classrooms, and it will cost us almost nothing. It's going to be powered by the sun, all right. Our Ministry of Youth, our Ministry of Culture is going to be by itself. Is the reason I'm telling you this. Our Ministry of Sports is going to be a ministry by itself, and the Ministry of Youth is going to go along with the Ministry of Education. You see the change? Youth, Sports, and Culture. Why? Ministry of Youth is going to be along with the Ministry of Education. All right? And so we need to make change. Stay tuned for Vision 2030, where a lot of change is going to come. All right? And the country is going to make sense. moving forward. It's going to just make sense. You understand? All right. So we can take, how long have we been here? Okay. We've been here for 2 hours and 42 minutes. We got to wrap up. I am so sorry. I didn't take any of your questions online. We're so sorry about that. When you get in power, will you bring charges against Leroy Major, Keith Bell, and other corrupt politicians? Yes, we're immediately going to have investigations, and where we find that wrongdoing was done, of course, we're going to bring charges. All right. We're not connected to the PLP and FNM. We're not a part of their clubs. We don't take part in anything they do. We have no reason to get friendly with them. We are going to investigate. We're going to find people's money, and we're going to deal with these persons wherever they've done wrong. All right. You don't have to worry about that. We've shown you that we have the courage to do this. All right. All we need you to do is continue to stand with us. So October 4th, we are going to be live. October 4th, we're going to be on Russell Square. Please be there. Stand up for your Bahamas. Stand up for those civil servants who are being victimized. Stand up, Bahamas. Stand up. There seems to be a fake Lincoln Bain page that's on here. Please don't click on anything that they are putting on here. That page is not me. I'm looking at it right now as we're doing this. It's saying that someone won some money. Please ignore that page. They're using my picture. Please ignore that page. And look like only them posting right now. All right, so ignore that page. Let me see. Please ignore that page. That's a fake page that's posting, saying congratulations to you and you've won. Aaron Cooper says, "Man, I have something to say." We'll call in quickly if you have something to say. We got to get this troll off of here. There's someone offering, saying that you won $100. That is not me. All right. Yeah, that's not me. So please ignore that. And so I tried to block them. It didn't even let me block them. All right. They still posting. All right. So just ignore that page that is saying that it is Lincoln Bain. All right. Just ignore that. All right. So it should be blocked now. All right. So the person, the number is 8035995. 8035995. Hurry up. Call in. We got to go. 8035995. That's the number. 8035995. I'm saying the number. 803-5995. That's the number. 803. Okay. It's taking too long to call in, so I gotta wrap this up. It's just a couple of things I wanted to cover today, but I couldn't cover. We've gone too long. I wanted to talk about the police brutality of that young man in the mall. That is absolutely police brutality. There's no justification for that. All right, I'll take this last call before we go. Good afternoon. You're live.
Yes, good evening, Mr. President. Mr. President, you're doing a good job, and I just pray that the Bahamian people continue to listen, continue to learn, continue to pay attention. I know that I'm on the ground, and I've spoken with persons, on a daily basis at work, and I can tell you that even right now, you have persons who work in the Ministry of Tourism, even the lawyers who work downtown, that they would walk up to me and tell me, "Hey, man, you're right. Just listen to Lincoln, man. He's doing it right. The CLI is doing it right." So I say to the Bahamian people, continue to listen, continue to keep Lincoln Bain in prayer. We have a work to do, and it's not going to be easy. Stay focused. God bless you, Bahamas, and the Bahamian people.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. All right, we got to run. Thank you for calling in. We appreciate it. Okay, we got one more person calling in. Good afternoon. You're live.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Bain?
Awesome, man. Make it quick.
That's good. Okay, so all Bahamians need to have
saw that nice black and silver trailer right by the light by Junkanoo Beach, opposite the station. Apparently, Ministry of Tourism took that. Right now, he's fighting. Now, that was in the newspaper, and I don't think it got enough coverage. There's a young Bahamian guy trying to do something, and they literally took it. And I was talking to him this week, and I'm like, you gotta be joking. Like, this cannot be for real, God. They would take something from you and destroy it so they can put their stall. So basically what they're trying to do is set themselves up. And I'm to this point, I don't even care anymore. Say, keeping my name covered, and I try to look for this opportunity so I don't get blacklisted and stuff like that. And that's the problem with a lot of Bahamians today. That's the reason why a lot of information isn't coming out, because they're giving false promises. And then when close to election comes, then they try to give us it. And when they get back in power, they pull it back from us. They still have the power. So basically, this whole conversation is about what they did to this young man, and he's fighting today. They're supposed to give him some money for different things. And it's not. They took it off of the crown land on the beach. That's his. And apparently, I didn't even know that was crown land on that beach.
Yes, it's crown land.
For. More than for 5 years, he have it for, and plus, and once he does something with it, and the business and stuff like that. And then, but they don't want Bahamians to know that we have access to this type of property in the Bahamas, and we can inquire for it. You know,
tell him to call me.
And he showed me the papers, and he's like, they took that from me. They took the whole building. Now, this information I see for papers for myself. This coming straight from the horse's mouth. And like I said, to get permission, this lawyer's dealing with it. But why do we have to go through that? Y'all get empowered to hopefully, we hope that y'all would empower us. But the only thing I noticed they're doing is I'm advertising that we have a lot of jobs. But there's no CEOs, there's no entrepreneurs. You know, they have problems with these beaches and stuff like that, and say Bahamians don't want to work and stuff like that. Why are we working? Why are these people coming off the ship to work on our beaches when we're supposed to be the entrepreneurs, giving us these sodas and liquors and chairs and different things, give people opportunity. Stop giving people jobs. Make us CEOs. You understand? I'm supposed to look at somebody down the road. My neighbor's supposed to be a CEO for the chairs on the beach for the cruise ship that comes down. And different things. And that's what he tried to do, and they took that away from him. He can't put nothing on that spot, and he's fighting. And like I said, I asked him for permission to bring this on, to talk about it. And he said, yes, hopefully that'll put fire to their feet, that they're just procrastinating right now with him. And he going through all kind of papers and different offices, and they telling him to get lost, and he has to tell them to sit your ass down. You ain't gonna treat me like no Johnny come lately. I know my rights, and I'm a Bahamian, and y'all can't do this. And that's the only reason why they don't have him swimming with the sharks right now, because he know his rights. He did his study, and I'm from hearing that news alone, you can imagine how much more people get do like this.
Yeah. We hear it every day. But thank you for calling, man. I appreciate it.
All right, y'all take it easy, God.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the habitat and the fuel for corruption is self-preservation. It's persons who see the corruption, but they say, you know what, I got to get myself straight. I got to finish this little thing right over here. I got my little mortgage to pay. I can't say nothing because self-preservation is the fuel for corruption. Self-preservation is the fuel of corruption. And because you have to preserve yourself, is why your country suffers around you. And those who might not come out because they have their little job in short order, you won't have that job because you didn't stand up. It's that serious. And so many of you have already lost your job to foreigners. It's because you haven't been standing up. Well, this is your time to stand up, because that man, just like in his last 2 days, they alleged that he went and signed all kinds of documents that they had to go and correct. Imagine what he's going to do starting tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, October 4th at 9:30 a.m. Make sure you're there. October 4th, 9:30 a.m. Take the day off. call in sick, call in vacation, call in dead if you have to. But we got to fix this nation. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, change ain't coming. Change is here. See you next.